He did it through midfield.
Old Wakey has not though. Old Wakey is straight into the fence, and Stickers might take advantage here. There's damage on Old Wakey's car.
What is he doing? Oh boy! Oh, big crash. Huge crash. Glasses into him. Glasses into him.
Less than a second away from the podium.
It's not over till it's over.
Get the drive. Who's it gonna be? He goes. Oh my god! He gets it. Does he get it? He goes into the lead. Oh my god! Oh, that is absolutely incredible. Oh boy!
Oh, he's in it. Oh, it's drama. Drama. Oh. He's gone for a move, very opportunistic. Oh, that came out of nowhere from Morgan Davis.
The battle back for second is an absolute hot rocket. Oh, there's a big tap from Raceman. The Wakey Raceman's in the wall. But he's recovered straight away. That bump was so lucky. We'll get a quick break.
Welcome everybody to tonight's action on the shores of the Mediterranean Ocean. We are live, Sector 1 Sim Racing of course, and two fantastic divisions we've got bringing the action to you tonight. First and foremost, we are going to smash down the track map, but we are, of course, at a very, very technical masterpiece of a circuit. Dragon Trail Gardens Reverse is 14 corners, 4.35 kilometers. It is a grueling track. It is tight, twisty, tire-torturing mayhem. Try saying that 10 times real fast, but we'll leave it there. 50 minutes. Grid base will be on 15-minute qualifying session. And, of course, the racing softs are there ready to go. There may be hints of rain, but we will wait and see on that. Joining me on the box, of course, we've got the one, the only, the guy that's now become head chef of Sector 1. It is Luke, a.k.a. Carbonboy. How are you, Luke?
I'm doing well, Karen. How goes yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It's been a pretty good Sunday. Very relaxing, of course. And speaking of relaxing tonight, we've got another member in the box. First time around, and boy, oh boy, we've got a guest, all right. It's our winner from last week in the Division 3 race. He absolutely turned up the heat on the championship. It is Grr, a.k.a. Graham. Are you there, Graham? Are you on the mic?
Yeah, mate, thank you. Really looking forward to tonight, especially being on this side of the pit wall. But, yeah, this Division 4, 6 points between 1 and 3, and throw a blanket over the rest, so it should be really good. Good racing.
Agreed. And this entire season, it's been all about really Rex's domination, but it can't really rest anymore because Malevolent One and Petey Pops, they are there or thereabouts. And, Luke, do you feel like Rex has done enough just yet, or do you feel like Petey Pops is really starting to come to the fore, or Malevolent One's got a little bit more in store?
I think Malevolent One is definitely the dark horse. He's one to watch out for. But I'm not sure Rex is going to have it all his own way tonight, because having kept an eye on Petey Pops in practice, you've got Rex in the low 34s, but at the moment Petey Pops is a mere 800ths of a second behind him. So
that's
I think if he can't beat him on outright pace, he may be able to get him on strategy with a little bit of fuel saving.
Time
will tell.
That is a very tempting closure to the championship. We still only got 2 rounds left. You can throw a blanket over these 3. And speaking of throwing a blanket on these guys, I reckon we get qualifying underway, get them all warmed up, and very much looking forward to this one tonight. There's been a few little surprises, and we've got quite a decent field tonight in terms of the Group 4 boys. Looking very much forward to this one. Of course, I believe we've got the Good Doctor coming back as well, as who's I believe missed a round or 2. Is that would I be right in saying that, Luke?
I know he's missed 1 round. I would have to check the numbers to see if it's more than that.
Yeah, and it's going to be a close and hotly contested qualifying. The drop round is still a factor for Rex. That will become a bit of a factor as we go down to the track for qualifying now.
Yeah, qualifying is underway. I have smashed that big red button.
And we'll go through the field tonight. We'll start off with the man himself, Dazza, driving for Locked Up Motorsports, and he's had some ECU issues over this race, and the preparation for the Corvettes has been very, very tough here. We saw last week that 3 of the 4 Corvettes went backwards in the Division 1 round, and coming through the Quattro, it wasn't really the best handling car. So it's going to be interesting to see if Dazza can tame that understeer and, most importantly, save the fuel. We got Womble, who's driving for Red Mist Racing in the BMW M4, and he's been, on the other end of the scale, really been able to look after his tyres as Dazza goes off early. Jeez, Dazza's just really struggling straight off the bat. Womble's, not made any shyness about it. He's definitely wanting more pace out of the M4, but it's really done a good job on his tyres and fuel as he gets a half-second penalty. We got Petey Pops for Doghouse Motorsports in the blue of the Quartet Astons, and make no mistake about it, Petey Pops is on a hot run. He is really closed up that gap in the championship to Rex. The drop round will become a factor, so Rex does need a bit of a bad result, but even so, Petey Pops is really staking his claim as a championship contender. Also got the good Doctor, who's racing for Blacklight Motorsport, the team owner, of course, in the Ammo Jaguar F-Type, and like we said, he was away last week. Looks like he's had a little bit of a tinge of paint on the F-Type here. It was more of a matte black, but it's got a little bit of tinge of blue to it. We got Chezar, who's racing for Ragged Edge Motorsports on the on-point profiling Aston, and he's had a bit of a topsy-turvy season. We saw it Deep Forest and Bathurst that sometimes the cards are just going to fall your way. It definitely didn't fall in Bathurst, but at Deep Forest, he really made the most of it. He's had a bit of a break now, looking very much forward to coming back to full-time racing, as is the guy right behind him, Rex, in the only Ford Mustang in the field for Red Mist Racing, and it is it's one of the big wonders of Sector 1 this season, how Rex has been able to make that Ford Mustang seriously work. He cannot afford to have a really bad round, and that Mustang looks fantastic, and it's got some big results to boot. Another championship contender behind him, the Malevolent One, in the Deeds Racing Dodge Viper, and well, I'm just going to say this as a team owner, please don't run out of fuel, we don't need more laughs after last week. And also, we got K-Doggy racing for Lucky's Lawn Care in the Sun God Jaguar F-Type, and that is, I still say, the best looking car on the grid at this point, but K-Doggy's just needing to find a little bit more. He's had a bit of a break, he had a bit of a tough run, it's been a baptism of fire, but he's with the right squad that can help him in terms of tuning and getting comfortable.
We might need to wait till the end of lap 3 to see K-Dog set a true time. I was just keeping an eye on him. He had a little bit of an incident on the final corner, ran a bit wide and found the ripple strip, which in turn sent him around and onto the pit lane wall. So this lap won't be a true indicator of his pace. Just in front of him, Dazza had a bit of a shocker of a run on this lap as well. He went off a couple of times. We'll leave it at that. So look out for these two setting their best lap times a little bit later in the session.
So in terms of this lap in the qualifying, Graham, because you qualified top 3, I believe, in last week's Group 3 race, how did you feel? Was it third or second?
7th.
Oh wow, Graham qualified 7th. Oh, so he came back from 7th.
Oh, sorry.
No,
sorry. Oh, my bad. That was my bad.
Then.
Was
there any parts of the track that you felt nervous around that these guys might want to be very cautious of, or?
Yeah, absolutely. The wind speed really impacts the times on this track, but the bit that I had trouble with, and it's where Poppers is coming up to now, is the what do they call it? The little cork dipper, or the sausages of death. But,
the corker.
The quickest time is over the top of them, but it's one of those risk versus reward. That's very, very easy, and I've just put the mockers on Poppers, but really, really easy to get that part wrong. And the other part where you can get a lot of time is just through the quattro, those 4 left-handers in a row. If you soft through there and can just clip those apexes, there's a good half a second 0.7 of a second just through there.
So I think we'll jump on board with PD Pops as well. Get a bit of a lap around Dragon Trail Gardens too as he comes through the tabletop. And very easy to spin out here. And even more importantly, you need to make sure you brake very early into it. You don't want to lose the front end, especially through that section when the tyres heat up. Coming up to the fearsome Crotro now, and this has caught many big names out, including Cyborg, I believe. And as you can see, the front tyres just protest. You don't want to put more pace into this. You want to take it as easy as possible and then plant the foot as PD Pops just goes sideways out of the Quattro. Coming up to the big Jandal. A nice flowing right left-hander, and you want to make sure that you can really nail the line through here, get a good exit. You can use a little bit of these curbs coming up to the slingshot. Brake nice and hard. Make sure you don't hit the good Dr. PD Pops. That was close. Get on the power as early as possible. If you've got a long back straight, and if you've got a bit of a slipstream, you're going to make the most of this. As PD Pops does have a big slipstream, but will the good Doctor hold him up a little bit? Oh, he's already down on his lap anyway, coming up to the, as what we're going to call now, the Corker. Formerly known as the little Cork Dipper.
The good doc set his fastest personal lap on lap 3, but unfortunately going into turns 1 and 2 into the tabletop went just that little bit deep under brakes, which basically cooked the lap for him straight off the bat.
We've had a couple of people over the last week or so with the final corner, which we called the Parabolica. I do think we need to rename that corner at some stage. I'm thinking of calling it the Vacuum, but we'll leave it.
Malevolent one, keep it off the wall.
Dear
as Rex goes purple with a 134.4.
There it is. So he was sitting back quite a bit. He's just finally flexed the muscle. He's 2.5 tenths clear though. That's a phenomenally good lap. Got a few in the chat tonight as well. Dadson's in the chat. Womble, Stranger, Bumcrack, how are you all? Hope you're well tonight. Daz has just come in, and good qualifying result by Daz so far there, Carbonboy.
Yep, sitting in P3, well, also sitting in the pits at the moment, choosing now to come in and grab a fresh set of boots.
The big advantage for the Corvette in terms of qualifying as well is, he's crossed the blend line, so that's why he's got a 3-second penalty. The big advantage for the Corvette is the fuel situation in qualifying. It's an absolute bullet. Because it uses more fuel, it's lighter, which is even better for it, but we'll just go up to... Oh, there we go. One guy we didn't get to introduce is Dobrev for racing cars like Legends in the Mercedes, and the Merc boys as the season has gone on. It's just been a little bit of a struggle. We've noticed a couple of big rounds that they can run long, and they have got good fuel, but it's just the power side of things, I believe, Graham. Is that the case with the Mercedes, do you reckon?
It's very different. I think a fair bit of it is the gearbox in the cars, just how they're set up. That really changes, but the Mercs are really good on fuel. I was surprised at the top line speed of them here last week with Daz 930. He put in a really good race and had a lot of speed in the last third of the race. It was a really good run. So I think on given tracks, they've all got their strengths and weaknesses, that's for sure.
See how strong the Merc is now as Dobrev goes P3. What a lap, 34.7. And Rex went even quicker in return. He went to a 134.2, and he's got the slipstream of Keza right in front of him. So this could get even better for him.
Good Doc's been a bit of a naughty boy too on that pit stop. He's crossed the blend line and picked himself up a 3-second penalty.
Rex is currently 2 tenths down as they go through the giant Jandal. Powering up to the slingshot, and slingshot's probably one of those corners you can brake a bit earlier to compensate for the exit and get the car as straight as possible as you pull out. Oh, and look at that, Keza's just gone really wide, and that's just checked up Rex. Oh.
Interesting strategy from K-Dog in that qualifying pit stop. He's chosen to refuel the car.
That's one of the interesting sides I haven't seen before.
Maybe he likes a little bit more weight in that Jag just to keep it stable.
Womble in P8 at the moment. He's 1.4 down, but I don't really think he's set an indicative lap at this point. He's definitely struggling with a bit of understeer through the Quattro at the moment. Jump on board the Red Mist Racing BMW M4, and it's the same situation as Rex actually. It is a one-in-only car in the field, and not in just the entire field. It's all of Sector 1. He's the only M4 driver, and while this car has fantastic fuel usage and tyre life, it's just not the not been the fastest for Womble. He's not really enjoyed the outright pace of the M4, and not really looking forward to the rest of the season. I think he's admitted he's happily admitting to Season 7, which we will reveal a bit more later tonight, I believe. We'll wait and see on that though. Just got Keza at the moment, still P6. He's on an outlap at the moment. So at this point in the qualifying, what would you be doing? Would you just be getting comfortable on the outlap, or would you just be mindful of what's around you, or do you reckon you just go for broke? What's your thoughts on that, boys?
Well, for me, if I was coming out on an outlap, it'd be taking a quick look around and seeing who's close by, and if anyone's on a hot lap and you're on your outlap, you do the right thing and just get out of their way. Don't hold them up. Don't be that guy. And if you're feeling up to it, I mean, I'm not a fan of doing it. I like my own space on track, but if you're feeling up to it, you can let someone on their hot lap by and then just tuck in behind them and maybe sneak a little bit of a slipstream for your hot lap. Maybe get a little bit further up the qualifying order.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, no, I agree. And sometimes just having that person to follow, or if you could be unkind to say, just having a bunny there to follow can really help. But I think the big thing is just you come out in that second stint and not overdrive it. Just try and hit your marks on every corner, and the times will come, because there's a huge headwind going down the back straights, which will sort of limit their ability, to get into the 33s in any great number. But yeah, just not overdrive it, hit the marks, and hopefully the times will come.
We'll jump on board with PD Pops now. P2, he's got to find half a second. Comes into the Quattro, and car looks very settled, very composed. Doghouse have been one of the informed squads of the season, a rookie squad, of course, led by the Stranger, and they've just been very strong from the get-go. And look at that, he's purple. So PD Pops, he's got something to fight with here. Through the giant jandle, he's got to make sure that he plants the foot as early as possible. You can use a lot of throttle and a lot of curb coming through. Oh, he just cuts the curb there as he comes into slingshot, and you can afford to do that. You won't get a penalty at that spot. Plants the foot as early as possible. Can he find more time? He's got to find half a second though. Still got over 2 minutes, so there's still time on his side. So he's down. He's probably down about 3/10 to Rex at the moment. That's just showing the form that Rex is in, as PD Pops just goes over the sausage curbs, and oh, that would have lost a fair chunk of time. As we go through the final corner, the corner I've forgotten what we've called it, boys. What are we going to call it?
Parabolica.
Yeah. I thought we should call it the Parabolica, but I don't know.
How about the P-Bowl?
The P-Bowl?
P-Bowl. Bowl.
Oh, true. I didn't think of that. So, yeah, 134.7 there for Petey. Not really his best lap. He's got more time, though. His good doctor does a 135.3. And Rex, I reckon, backed off, because he was right behind them. He has well and truly backed off.
If Rex holds this through the Dazzle holds this through the last corner, he could jump up into third. He was 2/10 up.
In the ECU problem-riddled, locked-up Motorsports Corvette. And he does. He goes P2.
Second.
What a lap.
Good drive out of that last corner. That was good.
34.3. That is a brilliant lap by Dazza. So there's definitely more time to find. Just jumping on board with Rex now as he gets to the first split. And he's purple as well by 9,000, so this isn't over yet. If someone's on an absolute blinder, they can take even more time out of this.
And that wind has switched around. It's not as much impact on the back straight now.
Oh, and I think that's where the Mustang would have made most of its time as well. Oh, Rex has gone very wide. He's going to lost.
Petey Pops has lost it at the corker.
Oh no. So the best he can start is P3. He's not in the way of the good doctor. Very clean.
He might sneak over the line for one more lap.
We haven't got much time left. This is going to be very tight for the level one. Oh, Rex has spotted into the wall! Coming out of the corker! And he's absolutely slammed that Mustang straight into the Shadow Realm. It's good, Doctor. Goes to 34.8. That's a good lap. Very good lap.
That's qualifying done for Petey. Just missed out on making the finish line by about 3 seconds.
Well, Daz is still on a hot lap here. Can he find more time in the Corvette? No, he won't, but he'll still stay second. Still a couple of guys running at the moment. Go to the first of them. K-Doggy, 2.1 down. That Sun Quad Jaguar just looks phenomenal, doesn't it? I don't think he's going to improve. So 1 minute 36 he's looking at. 36.8. I think there still might be 2 more. So we've got Dobrev and Keza. Keza needs a big result, but looks like Dobrev's just being held up. So there must have been a moment there.
Oh, he's got the slipstream here, so it might be useful for his 4/10ths down on Dobrev's 4/10ths down on his best. I'm not sure the slipstream will help him that much.
No, and going through the corker, the Mercedes does look planted through there. It really does. But is he going to find enough time through the corker? Did he get it wrong? Look how wide Keza is there, going right on the marbles, trying to really sharpen up that exit.
He's got a good run out of the last corner.
He does. No, that'll be it. So, looks like Rex will take pole position in the Mustang only by 1/10.5, but he would have been sweating bullets on those last couple of laps. Dazza Sturley P2 in the struggling Corvette, and Petey Pops will take P3. There's no harm done in his championship aspirations, so which way do you go, boys, on that one? That is that's going to be a phenomenally quick qualifying session, that one. That, you'd just blink and you'd miss it. So
Yeah,
I think
between 1 and 7th. It's very tight.
Wow. So,
I'm thinking the top 3 is going to be pretty spicy for the first few laps.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, and I think Rex has more to lose here. If he has a bad result, this championship is well and truly on in terms of the drop round, because Rex has effectively used it by having that did not show in, I believe it was round 2. Malevolence had a couple of races where he's been 7th or 8th, and then Petey Pops had a bit of a rough start to the season. If Rex has a bit of a bingle tonight, I don't want to put the moz on him, it is well and truly on. So, Graham, you got any picks for this one tonight?
I think look, the top 7, if things go wrong for any of the drivers in that top 7, but they've all got different strengths on the track. I really liked the qualifying of the top 5. I thought that was really solid, and they picked up, as soon as the track allowed it, they all picked up pace, so that was good. Yeah,
and I think with Dazza as well, the major issue is going to be the fuel side of things for the Corvette. We know it's a quick beast, but even so, it does have a bit of a deficit advantage. But then again, the Mustang's a total unknown as well. We just don't know what it's going to do. So, just waiting for the big red button to be pushed whenever you're ready, Luke. I think he might have grabbed a...
I was born ready. That button has been smashed.
Beautiful. I thought you were going to the comms box fridge there and grabbing a can of Bacchus, but in honour of our guest tonight. But
I may have also done that.
So we're just waiting on the rolling start to begin. It's just GT7 doing GT7 things, unfortunately.
I've been meaning to talk to the people here at the Sector 1 to see if we can just move that big red button to right next to the beverage.
So we'll just spectate now as we go racing. And Rex has a beautiful start. The Corvette's jumped off like an absolute bull. Oh, Daz has actually had thought about that. He definitely thought about having a look there, and looks like these boys have got around clean. They definitely got around clean. Big angry battle pack, this one, and this is Division 4, but these boys play for keeps. Rex already half a second clear as they come into the Quattro. This is where everybody's going to be tested.
Both wide, all 3 wide.
Petey Pop's real wide.
He didn't look very comfortable as we get on board with Dobrev at the moment. He's got Malevolent 1 and he's got Good Doctor straight behind him, and this is going to be tight. Look how close he is to Petey Pops. He might have a big look here at the slingshot. Surely not. Nope, thought better of it.
Oh, Daz is... No, never mind.
No,
I'm imagining things.
So it looks like Daz is able to keep up with Rex, but the fuel side of things. Oh boy. So someone has had a bit of a mare at the start, and it is K-Doggy. So something big's happened there. He's might have just gone off at the, I'd say he's gone off at the Quattro, maybe.
Keza nearly into the rear bumper of Womble there at the corker. Manages to pull it up just.
Tell you what, Good Doctor's doing a great job to stay on here with Dobrev. He looks like he's actually quite fast at this point of the race.
He's been looking good through that final corner, all through practice and qualifying. That's one of his strengths. He just gets really good exit, which lets him carry so much speed down the main straight, especially in the slipstream.
Oh, Dobrev's going to get a good run here.
Womble's a bit wide, a big dive at the end, just main straight.
So the big thing here is Rex has been able to
He's
get
a very
away.
smart operator, the Good Doc. He knows when to attack and when to just... I might just sit this one out and wait. As he goes...
Yeah, just caught him in the background.
Stop.
You put the Moz on him as Malevolent One's going to have a big look. On board the Deeds Racing Dodge Viper now as they enter the Giant Jandal. This is the battle pack at the moment. It looks like Rex and Dazza have definitely got the pace on these guys, but are they using too much too soon? Oh, Malevolent One's definitely thinking about it. He's got a bit of a gap already to Keza, who's 3.3 behind, but this is the battle pack at this point. Go back up to the leaders now, though. Rex is still only 0.4 seconds behind, in front of Dazza, who's got the bit between his teeth here as Dazza. This is a good performance so far, straight up from the locked-up Motorsports Corvette. Goes a bit wide out of the corker, though. If I'm Dazza here, I'm just thinking long-term, long-term, long-term. There's no point giving Rex a bit of a lead, a bit of a sniff, because if he gets away, he's just going to be gone, and if you're going to get in front of him, he's just going to conserve. So best off just trying to sit as much as you can behind him. This is the real battle pack at the moment, though. The Dobrev, Good Doc, Malevolent One, Petey Pop sandwich. Try saying that real quick. Good Doctor's looking pretty strong.
Doghouse, RCLL, Blacklight, a couple of the heavy hitters, and the new kids on the block.
4 different manufacturers in the top 4.
And we did hear from Womble early on in the paddock. He said that if anything happens for all of the top 8, he'll clean up the field. So Womble's got very high aspirations tonight. He's in the top 8 now, though.
Well, let's just put it this way, Womble. You're guaranteed a top 10 finish tonight, man.
Oh, look at this battle between these three. Dobrev, Petey Pops, Good Doctor. Petey Pops has run wide, and Dobrev very defensive. He's had a good drive out, but Good Doctor had an even better run. On board the Blacklight Jaguar now. He's actually purple right now. Is he going to have a big look? No, he's sat behind. Up to the corker now, and you want to avoid those sausage curbs as much as possible. You can see the different lines of these guys going through the corker as well. Good Doc was quite... Oh, K-Doggy's gone! So, K-Doggy, he's had a big issue there. Wonder what's happened. That's a monumental failure, that is.
Good Doc backs out of a turn 1 move on Dobrev.
I feel like Petey Pops might be going a little bit defensive here, maybe. Just... He's walking 3.6 seconds behind Dazza. It just seems to be really struggling with this setup at the moment. I'm not sure.
Speaking of Dazza, he has just, as he goes a little wide at the Quattro, has dropped off the back of Rex to the tune of a bit over 1 second. So maybe danger signs here.
Fastest lap of the race for Rex already, a 34.6. That is warning signs right there as we go back a little bit. This Good Doc just run a little bit wide. Almost clipped the grass on the Giant Jandal. So K-Dog is, Yeah, I dare say that he's had an issue of some form. If he's joined back, that definitely wasn't a rage quit, we know that. But this battle here, between Dobrev and Petey Pops and the Good Doctor for P3, is, oh, Good Doc just pulls up a little bit late. He's got such a good line going through the corker. And he's just leaving it flowing, and whereas Petey Pops just seems to be very defensive, very tight. Dobrev just a bit more of a flowing, action in the car.
Gets a really good run onto the main straight too. Don't think he'll be close enough to remove at turn 1.
No, and that's the biggest thing, the braking side of things. If you brake way too late, you're going into the wall. If you brake too early, you're pulling it up and just giving your opponent an inch or a mile. But the thing about the tabletop as well, if you brake too early, it's not all the bad thing. You can get a really good run onto this straight here, onto the Quattro. Just say Good Doctor's just taking his time at the moment.
I was just watching him coming into the Quattro there, just giving a little quiet nudge to the back of Dobrev. I think he might be using the old racer's Morse code of, come on mate, let's work together and we can both have a good race here.
I think in terms of races Morse code though, there's been a bit of a dash because Womble
hello,
is
someone's
in the wall.
gone. Someone's gone.
Yep.
This is going to be big warning signs here for the field. They're getting out of the way, so something's drastic has happened to Womble here. They've all passed through.
Yeah, and I know with Poppers today, he hasn't been 100%. He's been a bit off colour, but I think he's also playing that longer game, 32 laps, and keep it safe
Good Dog's
on the
picked
track.
up a half-second penalty somewhere along the line.
I dare say he's done that through the giant jandal. And look who's actually starting to catch back up a little bit. Oh, he barely held on to Keza. This middle pack now is just starting to come back together a little bit. The level at 1 might be 3 seconds behind, but that gap is starting to close up. Keza's really starting to come to the fore. Oh, it's Good Doc and Petey Pops. This gap battle has now turned into a 2-horse race. Dobrev's on the outside of the tabletop. Petey Pops just doesn't seem to have the pace. The gap now is 5.5 seconds between himself and Dazza, and coming into the Quattro, it just looks like Petey Pops might be just doing damage limitation at this point of the race. We just had an update from Womble as well. His wheel and brakes seem disconnected and it's intermittent. So it is a hardware failure. There is a steering rack issue right there. So that is very unfortunate for the...
I was just watching his telemetry then, and there was no steering input, and I'm assuming he would have been mashing to the floor on the brake pedal, and there was maybe 15% input showing on the meter. Something has not decided I'm going to stop working.
Yeah, and that's been a hard thing for Womble as well, because he's had a lot of hardware issues, especially through this season. As just keeping on board with Dazzy here. He is 2 seconds to the good. He's just still got that temperamental connection at the moment, so a little bit of the ECU still playing up a little bit. He's let Rex go a little bit, but not to the point that we thought Rex might go. And in fact, on the straights, Rex is actually losing time to Dazza there. 35-1 Rex's last lap. So we just go back to this battle between Dobrev, Petey Pops, and the Good Doctor. And it seems like Dobrev's just eased off a little bit out of this battle. The Good Doctor, he was 2 seconds behind us, so he's already caught up. If these guys start battling, though, you've got to be careful, because Malevolent One and Keza aren't out of this by any stretch of the imagination. This whole pack has really tightened up now. 12 seconds covering the top guys. So I think at this point, maybe we get a bit of a fuel and tyre check, Rex.
Rex or Carbonboy? Well, we can do it on Rex as he goes
of Rex, he's gone wide
deep into the slingshot.
Oh,
that's going to give Dazza a very big sniff.
Yeah,
I was
second.
thinking of making a comment about, I think I've cottoned on to Daz's strategy here, but I thought I'd leave it to the fuel and tyre update, so your timing is impeccable. So out on the front, we've got Rex, who is looking after those rear tyres on the Mustang very, very well. He's got maybe 15% wear on the fronts, a little bit under 10% wear on the rears. He's probably got about 60% fuel in the tank. And not so far behind him, we've got Dazza, who is making those front tyres work with about 20% wear, only about 10% on the rear. He's actually a little bit better off for fuel than Rex, which is surprising given he's in the Corvette. So he's got a couple of percent
That makes
up his sleeve. So I think come pit stop time, that 1.4 second gap might just be cut down to within slipstream range.
I am staggered by that.
I can hear the gears in your brain trying to process that, Karen.
Correct. Petey Pops, he's just under massive threat again from Dobrev.
As he's doing quite well on his tyres, it must be a Doghouse Motorsport thing being good on the tyres, because he's got about 10% wear front and rear, and he's got maybe 65% fuel on the tank. Dobrev has almost identical fuel behind him, with a little bit more wear on the front tyres in the Mercedes. The good doc is actually has a little bit more fuel than Dobrev, by about maybe 3 or 4%. The front tyres on that Jag though, not looking so happy, with about 20% wear on the front left. The Malevolent one in the Viper is maybe 2% better on fuel again, but that Dodge Viper, as he skips over the curb, is making those front tyres hate life about now, with probably just over 20% wear on the front, but the rear tyres appear to be very happy campers with, I'd say, less than 10% wear.
Well, speaking of the Malevolent one earlier, I can say right now that he's done twice as good as he did previously with his setup, which is, yeah, the front tyres were lunched after 4 laps.
Well, he's made major improvements there. And finally, Keza, who's probably got about 15% wear on the front tyres, about 10% wear on the rears. He's very healthy for fuel, with about 65%, just going under 65 now as I talk.
This middle battle pack is starting to form again. Petey Pops is definitely under siege. They're closing the gap though to Dazza and Rex. So it looks like the late race pace that Guru was talking about earlier in terms of Daz last week is starting to come to the fore a little bit.
Speaking of Daz, he must have had a little bit of moment in that fuel and tyre update, because the gap between he and Rex is now 3.2 seconds.
Ooh, so yeah, he's definitely had a big moment. That's where all the time is.
While he's probably about 5% better off for fuel, that little oopsie might have cost him a lot more.
Yeah, and they've still got about 7 laps to do on these tyres as well, so those fronts will come into play, I think.
And that's the thing, we saw the Mercedes last week was very gentle on its tyres, especially the late runs. Ricky Bobby, for example, I think he did, 19 laps on a set, if I remember correctly?
Yep, 19 laps.
I don't know what they're putting in the water at Obsession, but that's just crazy. But
I wish I could get that many laps out of my tyres, but being the lone Aston runner, I think I'm a little bit on my own with that one.
So this battle here is just starting to just stagnate a little. Daz is really struggling here, so I dare say he's starting to struggle a little bit in terms of the grip, the tyre life. I don't think it's necessarily an accident. He did a one, yeah, look at the last lap, 37.9, so that's, just keep an eye on his time here. He comes into the first sector.
As Rex goes purple through the first sector.
He's on a whole different ball game at this point, is Rex. He needs to do this. He can't afford a big spin. He can't afford a crash. If he wants this title, he's going to have to do it the hard way. As we get
Just
back
wondering if Dazza has made those front tyres work too hard too early, because I've seen that front left with the overheating square around the front left quite a few times in the opening laps.
Sorry.
Might have just gone a bit hard.
Just on the back of Petey Pops here, who's got a good view of this Dobrev Good Doctor battle. It looks like Petey Pops, he's definitely the chief beneficiary of the grip at the moment. He's looking very strong. He's nudged out another 4/10 this lap. Looks like, yeah, Dazza, I reckon, is definitely struggling with tyre life. Either that or he's very, very concerned about fuel and doesn't want to do a deeds. We'll leave it there.
Oh, I know he probably won't be able to hear me, but I don't think he's got anything to worry about with fuel because he's nearly close to 10% better off than Rex is.
Yeah, and I think it's, what, 5% a second in terms of filling. So if it's about 10%, he's going to still gain back a couple of seconds. But even so, this 5.1 second gap at the moment from Rex, this is just starting to stamp his authority on the field. Look at the lap times as well. He's still in the 34s after 10 laps. That is great driving from a car that is a virtual unknown this season.
Yeah, and Hoppers has dropped down into the 35s. He's closed that gap.
So there's great time here at this point. This is that little crossover.
He's been munching time rather steadily out of Dazza, who goes a little bit deep with the slingshot. But he's also got to worry about Dobrev, who's within slipstream range, and then within his slipstream you've got the Good Dog. So while Petey Pops might be getting a little bit of the red mist and going offensive on Dazza in front of him, he's still got to keep an eye on his mirrors, because if he puts a wheel wrong, he could lose 2 spots in the blink of an eye.
I thought he nearly did. I thought he nearly did that. He took a lot of that sausage curve coming through the corker.
Don't tell me I've done the commentator's curse again.
No. No. It's been a good drive so far. There's been very mature drives, actually, I'd like to say, from Petey, Dobrev and the Good Doctor here. They've been just joined at the hip all race at this point. 12 laps in and neither wants to blink an inch. They're setting themselves up for the long haul at the moment, whereas Dazza's just starting to really fall behind. Did a better lap that time, a 36.3, but it's clear that Petey Pops has got the tyre life to go even quicker at this point. Quattro's not...
It'll be very...
You go, Dick.
Sorry.
You go.
It'll be very interesting at the fuel stop too, whether they dump into 100% of the tank to run hard home, or they get the mass exact, and there's a couple of seconds to be picked up there, just looking at the fuel differentials.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big thing as well. You're going to see guys come in and they're going to... This will mix around a bit, but there's going to be, like... There's got to be another strategy or two. Dobrev last week would have seen the Ricky Bobby strategy as Petey Pops has a big look at Dazza, who's now going to be feeling the pressure of the Aston Martin from Doghouse. On board now with the blue version of the Doghouse Motorsports Aston Martins. Oh, he brakes very early, did Dazza. Oh!
And he held it.
Oh, this is well and truly on. Oh, there's contact and Dazza gets past, but this means Dobrev's right there, and so is the Good Doctor. 4 cars in less than, what, half a second? Oh. Dazza's gone wide! He's gone wide, he's in the wall! And in front of the Good Doctor too! That is huge drama! We'll get a replay of that one.
Oh, that has not gone well.
And he just very unsettled out of the P-hole and just... Bang! Good Doctor had absolutely nowhere to go. That was huge. What that's done is dropped Dazza right down to P7. Good Doctor's back in the Keza Malevolent 1 battle.
I can't help but wonder if Good Doc was trying to redress for a little bit there. I'm not sure why. I don't think he had anything to redress over.
Yeah, I get the feeling he might have done that. And he did. He was just a... I
wouldn't say he had anything to worry about there. That he had no option of where to go with a spinning Corvette in front of him.
Yeah, and it's usually the Mustangs that pirouette, but in this case, Rex is 7.4 seconds clear now. That's danger signs. But what that does mean now is that Petey Pops doesn't really have to fight this one. He's still got the breath behind him, but his current race pace is really strong. He uses a lot of the sausage curve. You can see the different lines just there of Petey Pops and Dobrev. Petey Pop's really attacking the first curve, but then really tight on the second.
So Gura mentioned the fuel differentials a little bit earlier, and just on the back of that, the person who's the best off for fuel at the moment is probably by a whisker, Malevolent One in the Dodge Viper for Deeds. Yeah, I know, best off for fuel.
Yeah, you never hear that very often. I'm proud of that.
And the worst off for fuel is Rex out in front, who is just below quarter of a tank now.
Well, that's probably the only real chink in the Mustang's armour at this point is that we've seen all season, actually, is the fuel. But then again, we've seen him do a 2-stop at Bathurst, not put fuel in the first stop, do a second stop, put fuel and tyres in, and still win.
Well, if he was going to do that in this one, I would have thought he would have pitted a couple of laps ago.
And it looks like
around the lap 12 mark.
Petey Pops is definitely starting to skip away now, and if anything, that gap between Rex and Petey is starting to drop. It was 7.2.
Come down by 2 seconds.
Yeah. Petey's starting to really zone in, and he's in his element here, and Debrev's running with him. He's not necessarily trying to fight this, but it's not like Debrev is just falling behind. As Malevolent One and Kez are just behind, nobody really in that top 3 can afford to make a mistake at this point.
Oh, Daz has had another massive moment somewhere. The gap between him and the good doc is out to 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Oh no.
Oh, wait,
he's
sorry.
pitted.
No, he hasn't had a moment. He hasn't had a moment. He's pitted. He's slapped on a fresh set of tyres. He has completely brimmed the tank.
That's early.
Which, well...
That's...
You're looking at 18 laps, 17 to 18 laps, even with a full tank in a Corvette. He's going to have to be careful.
I think
that's tight.
He's going to have to be more than careful at that point. It's Good Doctor comes in as well. Decent fuel save by the Good Doctor, actually, but in a bit of no man's land, he will he'll just have the track to himself for a little bit. But the big thing about that, he'll have clear track, and that's going to be a beneficiary, especially with these guys struggling on worn tyres. We'll just see where Dazza comes out in relation to him.
Well, if the guys in P2 and P3 fill to just the bare minimum, they'll get a couple of seconds back on Rex.
The gap's still dropping us now too. Look at that. It's just went under 5 seconds for a smidgen there.
Just on the tyre situation,
going wild.
He may have been best off for fuel, but Malevolent One, probably the worst off for tyre wear at this stage. Those fronts are very close to 3/4 worn.
So we saw just at the slingshot there as well, Petey Pops ran really wide. He's taking a lot of curb, and as a result of him running one at slingshot, Debrev actually closed that gap up, but now it's just blown out again. Just under a second, but on the back straight, it was well and truly slipstream territory. It was 2/10. As Rex goes around again.
So running to the half race distance.
I dare say he might be.
Petey Pops and Debrev also go around again,
So Debrev,
as does the Malevolent One.
is he better on fuel than Petey Pops at this point?
Debrev versus Petey, dead even.
Split it. Yeah.
Oh. So these
But-
guys, wow.
Petey does have the better tyres.
Yeah, but the lap time he did last lap, 1:37.2, that just handed Rex more time than they can't afford to lose to.
Versus Debrev's 1:36.7.
So Debrev's just, I feel like Debrev's playing the mental game at the moment, just trying to keep in touch. If anything, the Malevolent One's actually caught up a little bit, and that gap was 8.7, now it's down to 7.9, and Kez is coming with him. The problem is, like you said, Carbonboy, the front tyre wear for the Viper, and talking to him earlier today as team owner, he wasn't very confident on that front end. He used a lot of grip. It's a very front end heavy car, the Viper.
That V10 engine's not exactly a featherweight.
No, it's more of an iron block, if anything.
Yeah, he's probably 25% worse on the front tyres than the Aston of Kez's.
Oh, wow. And he's looking like he's got good pace, does Keza, at the moment.
I mean, to be fair, even with all that tyre wear, his lap times have been pretty consistent.
So Rex comes in.
I think Malevolent One might be joining him the way he's...
Oop.
No, no. Once again, Sector 1 drivers following in the tradition of proving me wrong. It's good to see nothing changes.
Watching the Red Mist
17
Racing crew
Rex
go to
and
work.
4.
Yeah, I was just about to say that as well, Gru. That is a huge differential right there. That's at least 2.5 seconds. Sitting there for a long hold. As Rex gets going, he's got a full tank.
Poppers is out.
Yep, and look at that.
Let's close the gap.
Yep. 2.1
no.
seconds. Oh
Poppers
no!
has got the pit line.
Oh no! That whole strategy
he-
call undone by the pit line. He must have crossed that coming in. He must have.
Yeah, this track is... The pit entry is an absolute pain because it's a sweeping right-hander, and to maintain that inside line on the right-hand side of the track to hit the pit lane without crossing the line, you've got to sacrifice so much speed. And, well, like any racer, no racer likes sacrificing speed. They want to go flat out. Unfortunately, I think that's cost him.
Yeah, this will bring Lucas back into it. A few seconds. There's probably 6 seconds to burn out of that straight, and Lucas took less fuel on too to pick up time.
Just on board now with Malevolent One on the Deeds Racing Viper as well, and Keza is well and truly in this battle. He actually had a big look on the straight as Dobrev comes in. He's actually done one more lap than PD Pops and basically matched
Malevolent goes around again.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're running long.
So does Keza.
This will be interesting though, because Rex was through the Quattro was a bit loose. Just did not want to. The tyres weren't up to scratch. The car did not want to handle very well.
We're seeing a really good mix of strategies here in Div 4.
Yeah. Dobrev
There's no
comes out,
follow the leader going on here.
and that's Dobrev out. Indicator on. So look at that gap there. That's the true battle right now. Rex versus Dobrev. And we saw that Mercedes in that stint there. I honestly believe he might just be able to give Rex a little bit of a fight as Rex goes very wide on the Quattro.
I think Dobrev might be onto something here, because while Rex is near on fully brimmed to the tank, Dobrev must know his numbers, because he's filled to just over 3/4 as we start to get a bit of mist and some clouds rolling in here at Dragon Trail.
Can we see a little bit of rain? The Mustang in the rain will not be the easiest car to drive. That's for sure. The Mercedes, and I'll have a bit.
Oh, hello. There's been a moment up the front. Keza is in front of the Malevolent One.
That would have been on the back straight. Had to have been. Kez has been strong on the slingshot as they go through the P-hole. And Malevolent One's going to have a bit of a look at this, but...
Oh, Keza, that's going to be a penalty.
And possibly for Malevolent One too, because that front end just did not grip up. Oh, that's
there you go.
Be...
That's why we couldn't split the fuel difference between the two of them.
I wonder if there's just that little feeling of rain possibly coming to the track. We know this is one of those tracks where the weather can be a little bit chaotic.
I think the weather is going to go one of two ways at this track. It's either going to pour with rain, or those clouds are going to clear up and it's going to be beautiful and sunny.
So Malevolent One's come out of the pits. He doesn't have a penalty.
Keza does.
Oh no, and Keza does for sure. 3 second
3
penalty.
seconds.
What that's essentially done, that undercut though, the good doctor, look where he is now. He is well and truly in this battle.
P4 right behind PD Pops.
Yeah, a bit over a 7-second gain through
Although
the pits.
He is down to about 60% fuel, where PD Pops has just over 3/4. So I think the good doc might be happy to just sit in the slipstream, save some fuel, and then take the battle to him later on in the race.
The guys behind though, Malevolent One and Dazza, there was a little bit of contact at the entrance of the Giant Jandal, and I think it's set Malevolent One a little bit wide there. Of course, me being the team owner I am, maybe I'm just being a bit obtuse, but we'll leave that there for now. As Petey Pops, early on in the stint, you saw he was just a little bit defensive. Good Doctor just throws it into the corker. He's flashing the lights too. On board now with the black light Aston. The cloud cover is definitely starting to play a factor now. Temperatures around the track will be dropping. It's got a decent slipstream here too. If anything, Petey Pops might just be holding up the Good Doctor at this point. Malevolent One and Dazzle look like they're just starting to struggle. And I know I say this a lot, I tell you what, but have you noticed the wind direction and the wind speed at the moment?
Yeah, it's moved
Nice
back
little bit of
down
a
the back straight.
It is starting to really be a bit of a factor here at this point. Just under 20 minutes to go, and the entire field, it's hard to split this one at this point.
Yeah, the drop in temperature, the drop in the temperature of the track is going to mean things are a little bit more slippery out there for the guys. And with that change in speed of the wind going down the main straight, they might just have to readjust their braking points for the tabletop.
Well, not only that now, this will help the smaller engines as well. So, do we have a no, I don't. Oh no, the only turbocharged car on the field we had was Womble, and yeah, unfortunately he's departed sadly.
As the Good Doc gets a really good run coming out of their corker.
Oh, and he gives it a little love tap.
There's some Morse code going on there.
And he is a controller player, so that's why he's flashing the lights so much. This is starting to get a bit dicey here. Front lights are on now. Oh, not around the outside. Surely not, Good Doctor. He's looking for the switchback though.
Oh, that did give him a great run coming out of the second part.
And you can see the gap there. There's nothing in it, less than a tenth. Not through the quattro. No, Good Doctor thought better of that then.
No, he just pulled out to the outside just so he could see his braking point.
That would have been move of the season if he actually went for that though. Dazza has got past the Malevolent One now. So the Corvette did have good pace early. Can he actually push back towards these guys?
Yeah, he's certainly solid in the 35s, so I reckon he'll be there, especially if these two fight.
Oh,
Good Doc pulled alongside.
He took a lot of that corner though. Is there an invoice? Oh, a little bit of a love
I think
tap.
he'll get away with that.
I feel like if you're a Good Doc, you've got to make this pass now because you know that the Aston's got good late race pace. Goes to the inside of the corker. Two wheels. Oh!
Sends it.
Sends it right. Sideways. No, surely not. He's done it. What a move.
Car control.
That is
car control there.
channeling his inner ghost there. We'll get a replay of that. That was just phenomenal driving. Look at him sideways through the first half, flicks it through the second half, and somehow comes out the other side. That is phenomenal passing.
I was riding on board with a Good Doc through that. I was just thought to myself, that is an accident happening right in front of me. And in S1 driver tradition, has proven me wrong, given me the finger as he's gone past me sideways, and picked himself up into P3.
That was channeling his inner ghost there. That was phenomenal stuff.
Meanwhile, Dazza is closed in within 6/10 of Petey Pops. Just to add a little bit more spice to this battle.
And I can tell you right now in the TO region, looking at the stranger, he just I don't think he was too happy about that pass. That was very out of control, that was for sure. But Good Doctor managed to hold it up as the clouds start to clear a little bit.
The Good Doc might have to watch himself later in the race though, because without going into the exact numbers, he's about a quarter of a tank of fuel down on Petey Pops.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something right now. Daz is not the only one that's closed in. Malevolent One's chopped the gap down because these guys have been battling so hard. Kez has definitely had a big moment though. He's 19 seconds off the back of the Malevolent One. So we go back up the front. Rex is 3.6 seconds to the good. So seems like Rex has just driven past that initial phase. Debrev's got an absolute paddock behind him. 10.8 seconds to the good. And then we're back in this little battle here.
Yeah, Rex is the only driver into the 34s, but he's doing a really good job in his fuel as well.
This is getting a bit spicy, this battle for the final step of the podium. Good Doctor did a 35 flat last lap, so now we're seeing what pace he's actually got. It's not like Petey Pops is letting him go though, but if you're Petey now, do you worry about what's in front of you, or do you start thinking, oh, maybe damage limitation, and worry about what's behind you?
He's got the car, he's got the fuel and tyres. Push, see what happens.
His pack is really closed up now. Malevolent One's less, or he's just about to be less than a second behind. Oh no, just fallen off the back a little bit, so he's just had a moment at the jandle. If you're a Good Doctor here, knowing full well that you don't have the top, like the fuel life, do you just try and conserve a little bit, knowing full well you might have to battle a little bit, or you just push like hell and hope for the best, build a gap, and then look to safety?
Well, I'm not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, so I'm with the strategy of just hope and pray and send it.
He's got a good line through the corner, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely time in that first sausage curve if you get it right, but yeah, risks are high.
Yeah, and it's so easy to get a penalty there as well. It's so easy to cut it. Won't be the Good Doc's first podium though if he gets this one. Of course, he got the podium at Bathurst, I believe it was P2. God. Someone in chat might have to clarify that one for me, back in the Bathurst round. Seems like he's found another home track though. The gap's definitely closing up between Petey Pops and the Malevolent One. That gap was about 4 or 5 seconds with Dazza in the middle, and it's definitely well and truly closing now. It's about 2. The gap between Rex and Dobrev though, that's the interesting one. It's starting to stagnate a little bit. 3.7 seconds at the moment, 35.2 last lap for the Dobrev, 35.3 for Rex. Can you see Dobrev coming back from this though? I don't know. Still got time on his side, still got 10 minutes, still plenty of time. Just keep our eyes on this battle though here with the Good Doctor and the final podium place. This one's not over by any stretch of the imagination. Daz has actually done the fastest lap of the race now at 33.9. That's stupidly quick pace, that is. Oh, Petey Pops! Oh, he's got wide! Very wide! That's let Dazza go straight through. Let's see if we can get that on the replay. He just looked very unsettled as the car went into the sausage curbs. Just understeered, just locked the front up. I think he was trying to get her out of the way of the Good Doctor there. That was a hold and pray moment a little bit there. So at this stage, is anyone a bit of a concern on terms of tyres is the real question here. That's probably the one big concern.
I think the person worse off for tyres at this stage, taking into account the varying strategies and pit times of all the drivers, Dazza has the worst condition tyres with, well, near on 50% gone in the front, but bearing in mind he did pit the earliest on end of lap 14, I believe that was.
Yeah, can he make it home on fuel though from pitting that early is the real question here.
It's going to be close.
Petey pops up the inside of Dazza and Dazza just holds his line. A little bit of a look there. Battle Plaque just seems to form and then just go wide again and form and then come back and then form and then just go back out again.
Although speaking of concerns for fuel, those might lie with the Good Doctor, who has just ticked on to a quarter of the tank left with 9.5 minutes to go.
Yep, 7 laps.
Oh, that's going to be a bit touch and go. That's very touch and go.
Whereas most of the other drivers are at least, or thereabouts a third of a tank to half a tank.
So the gap has started to close between Rex and Dobrev at the moment. 3.1 to the good for Rex. Just seems like the Mercedes is just starting to play that trump card a little bit. 34.9 last lap from Dobrev though. 35.4 for Rex, so that's where the time is.
And he's 400ths up on his fastest time through this Sector 1. So the Mercedes proving that it can find pace later on.
Look at this battle pack though, it's closed right up now as Dazzler thought about a bit of a look at the Giant Jandal and the Good Doctor for Locked Up Motorsports. You see in the rear view mirror, he's got 2 more cars behind him, the Doghouse Aston and the Deeds Racing Viper. The ECU issues just playing a little bit, oh, a little bit of a touch! And that's sent Malevolent One going into the inside. He's just gained 2 spots out of nowhere.
Malevolent One getting a 2-for-1 deal, but I don't think Dazzler's going to let this go. No, he's going to have a crack around the outside. Malevolent One backs out of it.
I think if
Man after my own thinking there.
Yeah, I think if you're Malevolent One at this point, you're seeing Dazzler lag and you're just so cautious because you know with Gran Turismo, if there's a car lagging, it's not thinking about your true position, it's lagging to where the car actually goes. That's going to be a real concern for these guys as well. So Dazzler goes up,
Dazzler's
pure Corvette power.
Oh,
And Poppers is on too.
Oh, a little bit of contact with Dazzler!
oh, Good Doc is not going to be happy about that. Oh, no.
He thought about that then too. And this battle pack is really just starting to become a juicy little hot pocket. Malevolent One up the end. Oh, he thought about that up the inside of Quattro. Surely not.
Oh. How big are your brass ones? Ooh.
Oh, Malevolent One.
Good dog,
Oh, he's thought
defensive.
about the inside. There's contact. And he's off. That is
boys.
well and truly off. See if we can get a replay. We were well and truly on board with that one, and I hate to say it, but that is well and truly the Malevolent One's doing there.
Time and a place, and I don't think that was either of them.
And I think Good Doctor's had another big moment here. He's actually gone. He's out! Wow. That is drama. So that 4-car battle has now turned into a 2-car stalemate for the final step of the podium, and we know the Aston is very strong on the end of the stints. Whereas Dazzler is really suffering at the moment, so Petey Pops is not out of this. The gap between the lead of Rex and Dobrev is still 3.4, and it looks like Rex is starting to push on a little bit. If I'm I'll tell you what though, if I'm Malevolent One there, I'm getting very nervous about that, because yeah, that's not really a spot where you want to be making a pass, and you'll be feeling pretty gutted about that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened on the previous lap, but yeah, Dobrev dropped 0.8 of a second on that lap, and that's where that gap blew out.
Look at Petey Pops here, he's hungry, he's quick now. Dazzler is suffering. He goes very wide. Low latency issue there for Dazzler. Means Petey's really got to think about this. Goes very wide, does Dazzler. On board the Doghouse Aston Martin now. There is nothing in this as well. There's only 5 minutes left. This is the battle on the track at this point. Oh, and Petey Pops. Sure. Tell you what, under braking, he thought about that. So what's Dazzler looking like in terms of tyre life there? Carbonboy, is he How is he?
Dazza for tyre life. Yeah. Probably about 60% worn on the front end compared to Petey Pops, who's maybe 25% worn on the front. And it shows under brakes into turn one. Oh, well. Oh, boys. By all means, have an argument about it, but let's not get it to fisticuffs, eh?
That is as close as it gets between the two boys. Daz is an old dog. He won't.
You watch Dazza struggle through this series of left-handers compared to Petey Pops.
Oh, in fact, Petey Pops is thinking about it. Oh, that Aston has so much more grip in the front end. And you notice, see through the giant channel how Daz is so, like, he's just got no front end through there. Oh, Carbonboy. Guess what? Did you not?
What's that?
Did you just see Petey Pops then as he goes up the inside of at Slingshot? The wipers were on. The wipers were on.
Ooh. I'm watching now. I can't see anything.
Was that an accident? The wind conditions have stepped up now too as Petey Pops goes up the inside of the corker.
He's got the grip to do it. He's just sent it, knowing full well he can hold on to it. But he's got that Corvette in his slipstream down the main straight, so...
Yeah.
Lights are on again too.
Just need that turn-in grip.
That could be really bad news for Dazza, who's already struggling for front-end grip. A little bit of moisture on the track.
If moisture comes on the track and it absolutely pelts down, and Dazza makes that big pit, that could be anything. It's definitely clouding over worse than what it did earlier.
2.5 minutes to go. Could we see a little bit of rain right at the very end of... Oh, Petey Pops through the Quattro, very wide.
Daz has not given up on this yet either.
No, he's been edging away.
Despite the low latency issues, he's still hanging him out. But he just seems to really struggle through the channel.
And Debrev's knocked half a second off from Rex. He's pushing through. He's got a pretty solid car under him.
Is there anything from Rex or Debrev to worry about in terms of fuel or tyre life, though?
I don't think they'll be worried, and they're actually near on identical in both aspects.
Yeah. It should get them through the 2 laps.
I just hope it absolutely pelts down like Russia a couple of years ago.
Dazza is on the fuel light.
Oh no! Corvette's doing Corvette things. And he's got a half-second penalty.
And he's picked up a half-second penalty.
That will be the battle done. Because he can't afford to make a move here.
He hasn't got the fuel or the tyres.
Yep. And this is only going to benefit the malevolent one at this point. Kez has actually done a fantastic job to chip away at that gap. That gap, when the pits were done, and with Keza and the incident he had, that was a 20-second gap, and he's chipped it down to 10.4. It's a great job so far. So Daz has served that penalty and has dropped that gap back to the malevolent one to 5.1 at this point, but back up the front now. And it seems like Rex has just stretched the legs a little bit.
Despite the fuel issues, I'm not seeing any signs of short shifting out of Dazza, so at the risk of being proven wrong again, I'm going to make the call now. I think he's going to run out of fuel.
Wait and see. Will this be the final lap though? That's the real question.
This will be his final lap. There's 12 seconds left on the timer.
So we'll go back out the front just in case he gets a look at me lap, but we'll wait and see. He's absolutely dominated this season so far. He had the one round he's missed, but he's come back with a vengeance since. This will be his final lap. He'll cross the line to take the win for Red Mist Racing. It is Rex. One hand and 4 fingers on that championship. Debrev will finish P2. An absolutely fantastic drive. He'll be stoked with that. As they come through the keyhole.
And no, he's not out of fuel.
Petey Pops has done a great job here. P3. Dazzle will finish P4. He'll finish with fuel in the tank. Big question
not
mark
much.
over the level 1 though. That contact with a good doctor, that will be looked at. And Keza, he knocked a lot of that time out. But a massive congratulations does go to Rex, who's absolutely been a class of 1 this race.
I don't think we've mentioned it at all this race. Dazza had the fastest lap of the race with a 1:33.941.
Wow. That is a phenomenal drive. So guys in chat, who do you pick for the driver of the day on that one?
I'm going to put my nomination in for Dobrev for the driver of the day. Solid effort, kept his nose clean, played his strategy, and it's served him well and put him on the second step of the podium.
And what do you think, Graham? Driver of the day?
Yeah, no, look, I agree with Dobrev. I watched him for quite a few laps through the Quattro and through the Jandal, and his car control through there, looking after the car, no tyre protest, and that second place has given him some great points, and it's made the championship tighter.
Yeah, and that's the big key here as well. Big key would definitely be that championship battle at the moment.
So it's actually really tight with 2 rounds to go, with Rex, Dobrev, PD Pops and Level 1. It's game on.
Yeah, but I'm expecting in terms of, because the drop round will play into it, Rex will come out of this on the other side a bit better off.
Yep.
It's going to be hard to say who's truly in the mix until we figure out the drop rounds. And that's going to be the trickiest bit of all. So stay tuned on that one for sure, ladies and gentlemen. But as we just wait for it to end, just go back to the slideshow for a second. Now, just looking through the chats. Just looking at driver of the day, guys. VF has said driver of the day to Brett. Womble has said driver of the day Rex. CaptaimMuffin said driver of the day to Brev. Driver of the day from Dadson. Killer Rex, easy driver of the day. Oh, driver of the day PD Pops from the Stranger. I think I'm gonna give mine. It has to go to Dobrev, as we'll just go back to the track real quick. It's a little look at me moment, of course. There he is. And yeah, that was just that had everything, that race. It was absolutely wild. It was chaotic. It was it was great driving as well. There was 4 cars fighting over one little bit of tarmac at one stage, and yeah, that was just a bundle of fun to watch. What was your thoughts on that one, Carbonboy?
Well, it was certainly a spicy little meatball, that one. It had everything, some battles, there's some moments I'm sure the stewards will be dealing with later, much to their disappointment. But there was also some exciting, legit door-to-door racing as well, which is good to see. Unfortunately, there were a few sad moments where, guys just overcommitted under brakes or went that little bit wide and unfortunately ended up in the wall, which, put an end to their race aspirations. So, yeah, a little bit disappointing there, but overall, that was a very exciting race to watch.
Yeah, I agree completely. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we will go down to the Division 2 route. We'll just take a quick break. Stay tuned. We've got more action coming after this. First of all, though, massive thank you to Carbonboy and first time ever, Grr, stepping into the comms box. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys.
All right, thank you. It's been great.
Pleasure to be here as always.
Anytime at all. Now, just make sure you smack that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subbed as well. We will just take a quick break and be back shortly, guys. Stay tuned. We do have Group 2, the final race of round 6. It's going to be an absolute belter. These guys play for keeps, so stay tuned. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Sector 1 Sim Racing. We've just finished the Division 4 race, if you just tuned in. And holy jeez, there was a fair bit of drama in that one. There was great racing all round. And Rex, he's got one hand on that title now. Can anyone stop him as we head to our next round? But eyes off that. Eyes on to the next race. The final race of round 6. It is Division 2. It is a gargantuanly fantastic group. These guys, they will play for the last skittle in the bag if they get half a chance. Joining me in the box for this one, a former champion. He loves these cars, and of course, he loves the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man himself. Are you there, CaptaimMuffin?
Yes, Karen, I'm here, mate. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone at home. Thank you for really talking me up there as a former champ of the Sector 1 Sim Racing Series. Lovely to be here in Croatia, where the weather is sometimes good, sometimes bad, but so far, nothing but dry.
And, of course, we've got another new one in the box tonight, and, well, make no mistake about it, he's one of Sector 1's very best drivers. He's done a fantastic job this season, and putting together a very strong campaign indeed. Ricky Bobby's in the house. How are you, Ricky?
I'm good, mate. How are you guys going?
Oh, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Did you see anything from the last race, or...?
I did, mate. Yeah, I was tuned in for the whole race. It was interesting, to say the least. There was a few moments there that are a little bit questionable, but we'll see what happens with the outcome with that.
Yep, I think... after watching the Div 1 boys last week and the pace that these Div 2 guys have been showing from the whispers around the paddock as well, have you guys got any picks on who's really setting the standards alight at the moment, or is there anyone that's sort of just a bit of a surprise?
It's hard to tell at the moment, being just practice. People could be prioritising race runs over qualifying runs, but right now, if this is the true speed of everyone we're seeing right now, Stickers looks to be in prime position to take a pole and a win, I reckon. He has been showing some great form in practice.
And the big thing about that, looking at the points at the moment, and especially considering he's already missed one round, so he's got to use a drop round regardless. He could, if he wins this one, be right in the championship mix. We've got Wakey sitting on 130, young Wakey, followed by Evil Evo, only 2 points behind now. Has really closed that gap. And then Stickers himself, 10 points behind Wakey on 120. You got Old Wakey P4, Lenocious 5th, Racefan 6th, Bumcrack, Pat Star, Freelix, and Black Project rounding out that top 10. It's going to be a bit of a slobber knocker, so I reckon... I don't want to hold these guys up. I reckon we get straight into it. I'm just going to actually get back into the comms box for a sec, because apparently I'm not even here yet.
Yep, I was about to mention that. I'd love to start the race, but it'd be good to start it if you're here to watch it, mate, and to commentate on the action. Unless you're planning on leaving us be. But it's good to see you here now, mate. Welcome in. You know the fridges, you know the deeds are. Settle in.
Alrighty, so, yep. Back in the room now. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I can't see straight, and completely didn't check the comms box. I was in the wrong one. I was still in the Div 4 room. Anyway, I reckon whenever you're ready, Muffin, you can hit the big red button.
Yeah, big red button has been hit. I've gone to the fridge, got myself a bowl of water. Gotta be different, you know, alcohol isn't for everyone.
CP
That's
boys,
okay.
Bloody water, CP boys. Alrighty. So, we'll just get down to the track now. Just sort this one out real quick. So, one big thing I've sensed as well from the Division 2 boys is the fact that these guys, they play for keeps well and truly. These guys do not muck about.
100%. They are honestly some of the closest competition we've seen here in Sector 1. They will fight for any position on the grid, no matter where it is, no matter how many points it's worth. If they can see a chance to be in front of someone, these guys will take it, no hesitation. Ricky Bobby, you can agree with this, you can agree with me on this, I imagine, I should say.
Yeah, my days in Group B were full of great battles, mate. Very, exciting racing, that's for sure. Especially on this track, I'm intrigued to see how aggressive some of these guys try and attack some of the corners and sections of the track here. As you were talking about in the last race, very rewarding, but it's a massive risk. If you get it wrong, it can turn real bad real fast.
So we'll just run through the field at this point, and coming off First cab of the rank, race fan for CP Motorsports, teammate of CaptaimMuffin here, and been a bit of a topsy-turvy season for a race fan. He probably expected more of himself. Currently sitting in P6 in the championship, and he backed up a very strong result at Deep Forest and was actually fighting for the win. The season summer break might have just done him a little bit of good. We'll see how he goes tonight. One to keep an eye on for sure. Behind him, you've got Evil Evo, the last of the Doghouse Motorsports cars, and make no mistake about it, Evil Evo is well and truly in title contention in the Green Machine. Looking forward to seeing how he runs. We've got cruising for racing cars like Legends in the old VL Walkinshaw style livery. I think it was a initial Group A HDT livery, actually, if I remember correctly, the one before the big walkie itself arrived on the scene, or maybe 1989, I believe it might have been. Lenocious, who's also driving for Obsession Motorsports in the Mercedes, and he would have had a little bit of a G-up in terms of how the car handles. The last couple of rounds, the Mercedes has truly struggled, but seems to be doing very, very well here. We saw DeGrev pull out a strong result, and we saw the man next to me, Ricky Bobby, pulled out a very good one as well, and looked very pacey. Keep an eye on Lenocious. Our championship leader, Young Wakey, the rising star of Sector 1, and for Locked Up Motorsport, he's looking to make sure he has a big result. He will need a drop round. His lowest result this season, P7. And this is a track that can bite. He's got Old Wakey straight behind him. And of course in the Corvette, we've seen the Corvettes this week really, really struggle. So how will Old Wakey deal with that one? He's doing a great job in this championship, put up a fantastic campaign, P4 at this point. But he needs to find something more if he really wants to get involved in this championship battle. We got the bum crack, P7, also for Locked Up Motorsport. There's a trio of Locked Up cars here, and of course in a Corvette as well. And he's just getting used to the caliber of the racing of these guys in the higher tiers, and looked very comfortable at Deep Forest. He put up a great fight actually in the middle part of the race as well, and looked very strong against the likes of Young Wakey. This race fan sets the first lap with a 1:32.8. That is strong pace straight out of the guts. We've got Freelix, the last runner for Ascension Racing tonight in the Aston Martin, and Ascension Racing have just absolutely dominated this season. Freelix has been boxed around a little bit this season, but he's had some strong results. Goes P6 there. That's a great time. And as we go to the man I was meant to go to, Stickers, P8. Sets a 1:34.1. He's well and truly the man to beat, according to my co-commentators here. He's very, very strong, and of course in that Datsun Racing livery, gosh, it's a beautiful car. I'll just leave it at that. So that is our field for tonight, guys. And 11 minutes to go. There's still plenty of time as Young Wakey has set the fastest lap with a 32.751. That is fantastic pace.
Currently the top two separated by half a tenth of a second, which is unbelievably close. But then from there, you go back another half a second and you find more or less 3 or 4 more people in cruising Evil Evo, Old Wakey, even Freelix can be counted in that little gap there. Field here pretty close from 3rd through to 7th at the moment.
Well, we saw the last round as well. I think there was like 8 or 9 cars that were decided by half a second, and between 2nd and 6th it was like 3/10, 5 cars that were like within 100 of each other. It was just some of the craziest, closest qualifying we've seen in history. As who's actually at the back of the field, it's just fallen off a little bit.
We have 2 cars currently crashed out at the weird Corker chicane. Bumcrack and Stickers both hit that first sausage curb with their inside rear tyre and just got sent for a ride into the inside wall, or outside wall I should say.
So Freelix P7 stays there at the moment. Cruiser was up in P3 at one point, but Evil Evo has just cemented himself into P2.
Also we got Young Wakey here, set a faster time now at a 32.45, which is making me jealous just reading that.
Ugh, yuck. Well, to get to the back of the Group A boys, the Division 1 boys, it was a 32.9 if I remember correctly. Which is just insane pace these guys. It shows that these guys could possibly just easily walk into Group A and actually do a really, really strong job. We've seen the likes of Stickers in the past, who has stepped into Group A, and make no mistake about it, he's been fantastic at that level.
100%. I think any of the boys here really can all qualify to run in Group A. And we've seen in previous seasons that, like between the Group A and Group B boys, Div 1, Division 2 in this this scenario, they're all very close. Without doubt, there's a few outliers from each division that will sort of shine, but he is very close in this play division here, and they can all definitely qualify for Division 1 easily.
So from memory, mate, that 32.4, that's easily mid-pack in Group A. That's a blistering lap, so...
That's just, yeah, that just shows how much young Wakey's improved out of sight in the last 2 seasons. He was in Division 3 and he was sort of mid-pack when he first began, but he's just really closed in and become, well, I'd say he's pretty much a genuine threat to the Division A guys, as Freelix does a 133.5. Race fans just run right, and Lenosha's just serving the penalty at the moment.
Race fans just come out of the pits so he's leaving some space for the people still on hot laps.
See who's coming out of the Parabolica at the moment. Bumcrack's on an out lap, so see what Bumcrack can do at this point. Stickers P9. And the Corvette, it's just, if ever there was a track that it was going to struggle at, and it looks like it's been doing it all year, that it's just found tracks that it's really strong at, this is the track that's really caught it out.
100%. Like that car there seems to be pretty good in the straight lines. Guys got a pretty lazy front end at the best of times, and then a track like this, which is very technical and not really much in the way of sort of straight flat out sections, only really a couple of hard braking zones. Not a track for that car without a doubt.
So Bumcrack's up by 3.5 tenths on his best lap time as someone in front of him's gone off.
You bet we have race fan into the wall at the hairpin. He's made a little mistake once again, still in his out lap, so no harm, no foul, carry on. It's alright.
Seems like there's a little bit of an angry hot pocket where Freelix is at the moment. Has he got young Wakey in front of him, has he? I do believe so, yes he does.
Yeah, also got behind that, Old Wakey and Lenosis doing a little slipstream in action. That Corvette and Mercedes working together, opposite teams, or different teams I should say.
And just looking down the pit lane from the comms box here, looking at the Obsession pit lane, Ricky Bobby's already got an admirer in Pruski holding up a sign saying we love Ricky, P.S. marry me.
Thanks White Hips, appreciate that.
I can't blame Pruski for saying that. Ricky Bobby is an absolute legend of the sport, and it's great to have him here with us tonight.
Bumcrack found 4.5 tenths then, goes P6, that's a fantastic lap.
Stickers to P3, he's now down 32.695, only 2.5 tenths off young Wakey.
Strong time, so Stickers has got more in the tank. There's still plenty of time for him to actually go out and set it at low 32. I think that's what we might be looking at.
I reckon the first few laps there, he was sort of just taking it easy, getting the feel for the track, burning a bit of fuel, and now that he's gotten the car to a position he likes, he's just going to start dropping qualifiers like there's nothing else to do.
Evil Evo P2 at the moment. It's just coming out of the keyhole.
Young Wakey's purple by just over 2 tenths out of the second sector, so this is looking like a good lap.
Get on board with him now.
Also on the back here, we've got Lenosis currently matching his best time, but with a slipstream from Old Wakey, but he's just from wide to come out of the corker, so our lap is done.
This is going to be quick. Oh my god, look at that, 31.9. That's, if ever there's a guy that's going to make Group A and be a genuine threat, wow, what a lap.
Young Wakey, that is mental.
That is a very quick lap. That definitely outdid my qualifying here, so...
Let's put it this way, he's a full second ahead of my lap in last week. That's just phenomenal. That pace is just ridiculous.
Well, I'll just put my hand up to keep him in Group B, I think. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I agree. Stickers goes faster.
I'm prepared to start unloading some excess ballast into young Wakey's car, try and bring him back to the field if that's all right with you guys.
Sounds like a plan to me, mate. That could even things up a little.
Yeah, I agree. I think, yeah, I definitely don't want to see him in, I don't want to see him in Division 2, Division 1 anytime soon. He's too quick for his own good.
Yeah. And with him being the AG, it's only going to get better as well. But just looking here in the first sector split, Stickers is up by a tenth, could find himself going to the front row if he keeps it up.
He's looking very, very strong with Stickers. Jump on board the Datsun Racing Aston Martin now, goes into slingshot. Hits the apex perfectly. He's got a little bit of karting history as well, just Stickers, so he's not a slouch behind the wheel, and he's not just a pretty face with a paintbrush. 10th and a half down at the moment, but top four, all Aston Martins at this point. You got Lenocious, who's definitely the top car at the moment. That's not an Aston. As Old Wakey does a 32.7, puts himself P4 now to take that mantle.
Yep, also a nice improvement for himself P5. Currently P4, 5 and 6, now 5, 6, 7. Separated by a couple of tenths of a second as Racefan goes to P2.
Wow, what a lap! 32.5. And he's done that without a toe. He's done that without a toe. That's a huge lap.
Still 3 minutes left to qualifying, so that's still a chance for everyone here to do 2, possibly 3 laps depending where they are on the track.
Tell you what, the gaps from P2 all the way through the rest of the field are so close, it's not funny.
This was probably, I'd say, arguably the most balanced group in terms of race pace and in terms of qualifying times. We saw this, look at this, look at the gaps between second and fifth. It's just phenomenally close. One slight mistake could probably see you honestly go back to 9th. Cruising at the moment there, he's still got plenty of time.
It's only got 5 tenths to move up 1 position, and then another 2 on top of that to go up to P7. That's definitely possible.
So Racefan, has he got more in the tank? It's a real question. No, he's a second down. So was that a bit of a Hail Mary?
I wouldn't be surprised if Racefan takes the opportunity to dart back into the pits now, grab a fresh set, and just go for one last hot lap. He'll have time for that.
Yeah, this is the time where you just got to sit back, relax, try and think about your lines, try and impress your team owners, or if you decide to move next season, wink, nudge, nudge teams.
Yeah, well, we've got a spinner on the main straight. That is Felix there. Found the Troy Dip Wall, as I'm aptly going to call it.
It's a good name for that. I'll pay that.
Thank you.
As Bum Crack comes across the line. The 33.2 is his fastest lap. Now, that's a very strong lap, considering when we did the Division 1 qualifyings last week, Morgan and I, being the two Corvettes that were lower on the grid, we both did 32.9s. So for Bumcrack, that is a motivating factor, but the quality of this field is just insane.
Everyone here is absolutely phenomenal with their cars and their driving styles. It is a pleasure to watch and commentate, honestly.
Just watching young Wakey now, exiting the slingshot. That Aston Martin is on rails. Let's see if he improves on his second sector split at the moment. No, he's 3.5 tenths down, so maybe the times are just starting to not drop as much as they thought. The wind will play a factor, and there's definitely a lot of sun on the track. This Racefan comes out of the corker as well. He's not very far behind Wakey. He's cruising, goes to P7 at 32.9. That's a nice lap.
You'll notice on the wall, he didn't hit the Troy Dip wall, but he was very darn close to it.
Oh yeah, and I can see him straight in the wall there. Oh, don't back out. Oh, that was close.
Yep, that was as close as you can get, without a doubt. But a great spatial awareness there from the noses not to reverse onto the track with a car coming a million miles an hour from behind.
And that's the big thing for Gran Turismo as well. Unlike other sims where you can have that sort of that relative standing, so you know where anyone is around you in terms of time. Gran Turismo does not have that in qualifying, so the only sort of reference points you have is the track map. So it looks like Lenocious is done.
Yeah. I just want to say as well, qualifying's over, but Stickers just did a 32.7, but that time there included him serving a half-second penalty coming to the main straight. So if he didn't have that penalty, that would have put him on the front row, I reckon, guaranteed.
So Young Wakey's still on a flyer at the moment. He's already a half a second clear, mind you.
Yeah, but at this point now, it's just about stamping your authority. Really letting everyone else on the grid know, I'm here, I'm the fresh face, I'm taking you all down.
And he's only
Enjoy that.
He's 0.02 of a second down right now. This could be even quicker. He's got the potential to go quicker here. Uses a lot of the exit out of the corker. Over to the keyhole. Tyres protesting from the front left. Uses all of the exit. This is going to be quick.
You could not get any wider if you tried.
Oh, 32-2. That is a great lap. Race fans just right behind him. But no, he's backed out of it.
Yeah, no improvement there. I think that might be qualifying done and dusted. I can't see anyone else on the whole lap right now other than Old Wakey, but no improvement for him.
So it seems like late in the qualifying session, the track temps just went up, the tyres just went down. But congratulations to young Wakey. That, what a lap, 31.9.
Its pace has got me just with my jaw dropped drooling. That is phenomenal.
So guys in chat, who are you going to pick for your winners for this one? Who's going to be the standout? Ricky, have you got a pick that you're going to follow closely apart from Lenocious, your teammate? Or are you just going to stick with Lenocious? Or?
Yeah, no, I'll stick. Nah, I think it's going to be really hard pressed to get past Wakey and Race Fan, to be honest. They seem right on the pace at the front. The Astons are a really great car overall. It'll just be interesting to see everyone's strategies, I think, see how this pans out.
Yeah, I agree. And the interesting bit for me will be we did see a couple of the guys go early last time out, and then last week we saw a couple of the guys come in late, and it really has thrown a spanner in the works, to be honest. This track, it's more about the driver in terms of everything than the setup, and it's really showing at this point, especially with young Wakey. So I reckon whenever you're ready, Muffin, we might just hit that big red button one last final time. I think it's red, white, and blue with some crest in the middle, I believe.
Yep, the Croatian flag in the shape of a circle, definitely. But yeah, I've given them the all clear, pit lane exit open, get to the grid, and let's get rolling with this race.
So guys in chat, this is going to be an absolute slobber knocker.
Yep. It's going to be a very, very angry crowd going in the T1. It's a very hard braking zone there as well, so I'll look to give you a few dives going into our T1 there, but with T1 being a double left-hand and a pretty sharp one, holding it around the outside is certainly possible here.
Yeah, I agree. As they go green.
If currently young Wakey holding his advantage into T1, T2 comfortably. Race Fan though, Eagle is on his bottom. The gap can be measured in inches. There is nothing between those two. Stickers there as well, P4. Old Wakey P5. He's following along. Everyone's in a train right now. No one's fallen off it yet. This race is on.
Just look at this. Oh, Evil Evo goes a little bit wide through the Quattro.
Yeah. Makes him vulnerable to stickers now. Race Fan's got a bit of leeway just to focus on young Wakey in front, make sure he doesn't get away too soon.
And that's the problem at this point. They do not want to let young Wakey walk away with this. He's shown his class and quality. And already, look, he's starting to pull a little bit of a gap to Race Fan here. His stickers all over the back of Evil Evo. He thought about it.
He eyed up that move, but now doing that, it's made himself vulnerable to Old Wakey, who's now got a good run out of that hairpin there, and he could be going for a move into the corker. But no, stickers instead. Look at the inside line on Evil Evo.
He's going to go up for it. That Datsun Racing Aston's heavy under the brakes. Oh, a little bit. Oh, that could have ended in chaos there.
Yeah, certainly did. 2 wide in the back though. Fredrickson cruising, going side by side through the corker. That's not something you want to do too often, boys.
These boys will have a point to prove as well, especially cruising starting off the back of the grid. Goes up the inside.
Penalty from Race Fan in front. He's going to serve that and fall all the way back now.
And this is just going to give young Wakey that bigger gap. If I'm stickers here, you've just got to send it. As Old Wakey goes up the inside as well of Evil Evo. So Evil Evo's not having the best of starts.
Yep. Nonetheless, though, it's a long race. It's a very technical track, and it's a very mentally draining track, I'd say. It really has an impact on your mental, sort of not health, but mental endurance. You're not exactly taking a break much at all.
Oh, he's just got Lenocious all over him. That Aston's just really not settling in. It's only lap 2, but even so, the other cars just look very hooked up as they go through the giant jandal, 5 apiece. This is a brutal field at the moment, but this is just letting young Wakey skip away.
Yeah, gap is already up to 2.5 or 2.3 seconds now. That is insane in 2 laps. Not even 2 laps, really.
If you're Stickers here and you know you've got pace, you've got to get the move done as Race Fan goes very defensive.
Yeah, no double movements here, boys. All clean racing, but can Stickers go around the outside? He's
Surely
looking at
not.
it.
Surely not. Oh, that was so close.
Now, unfortunately, that first part of the corker there, if you get over the sausage just right, it's hard for someone to hold around the outside there just because you've got to take such a very awkward line.
And you don't want to plant the foot too early here at the keyhole, because if you plant it too early and you get the understeer, you'll just go way off wide. As we saw Dazza in the first race.
We've got Freelix has just had a bit of a spin and accidentally entered the pits.
Oh no!
Out of the last turn, so...
Well, it looks like Felix now doing the impromptu two-stopper, so watch for him come down the race.
Yeah, he's going to be quicker, that's for sure, but he's going to have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Although he didn't actually change anything, and he's got himself a 3-second penalty, unfortunately. So.
Oh. And
That's fine.
That pin entry is so harsh, but look at these guys, 3 apiece through the stages of the Quattro. There's 5 of them all together. This is insane racing. This is as close as it gets.
You'd think a little bit of leniency if you're accidentally sideways over the pit entry line. Might be in order, but...
Well, we remember with a few years ago with the, I think it was the Ferraris with the GOAT, as Evil Evo goes very defensive, as he fell off the pit exit and actually copped a penalty, but when he slammed into the wall, it actually burned it for him. So that might have been something that might have been looked at.
I can see the cars as they come to the corker. Oh, Stickers on the inside, he's going for it. There might be a bit of contact there, but no, Race Fan holds position.
He's definitely getting held up now as Stickers, and they're just letting young Wakey walk away with this. This is just phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, young Wakey at this point, he can put it on fuel map 6, short shift to buggery, he can cruise home from here. He's got no problem whatsoever.
Meanwhile, these guys are just tripping over their own 2 feet as Race Fan and Stickers. Look at this stuff.
Stickers has got the move done. He's well and truly in front. Will there be a response coming out in T1?
Oh, he goes defensive. Race Fan, he's gone wide though. It's going to give Race Fan an incentive.
Evil Evo behind that gave old Wakey a little tap coming into T1 there. Thankfully, no punts were made. Everyone continued on.
Gee whiz, the foothills of Croatia. We're getting an absolutely spicy hot pocket. The weather's hot. We're racing hotter. As old Wakey's now starting to get under threat a little bit from Evil Evo, who seems to have a little bit of understeer issue. He's got
That Aston of Evil Evo is looking very slidey. It's the 2 up the front battling it away and really bunching this pack up.
Yeah, and it seems like they just don't have an answer to young Wakey, who's well and truly clear at this point.
Old Wakey goes wide at the hairpin there. Managed to get a good run out of the corner, but nearly lost a position. Lenosis in the process.
But he's got the power of the Corvette as well, and that might come into the fray here. Evil Evo very defensive. He's going to force old Wakey to go crisscross. No, it's going to check Lenosis up just a little bit.
Well, that battle's actually even allowing Cruising to sort of slowly reel them in as well. They'll be in this very shortly, I think.
5 cars within the space of no time at all. And
it's the car racing you want to see.
Yeah, this is fantastic stuff. Carbonboy's already fired in, driver of the day, Lenosis.
That's a fair call, but meanwhile, the front of the grid, 5 laps in, casual 5.5 seconds to young Wakey. Yep, nice work, young fella. Have fun with your win.
Lenosis just had a big moment at the exit of the tabletop. Car very sideways, he was able to hold on to it.
Yeah, these guys here are starting to settle down now. They're starting to increase the gaps in between them, so they're starting to take it a bit easier, starting to realise that it is a 50-minute race and not a 5-lapper. Just settle into a rhythm, work out your tyre strategy, your fuel strategy, and make sure you can jump these guys in the pits. It's going to be the easiest place to do it.
Yeah, the Mercedes is not only quick around here, it's actually probably the best in terms of fuel conservation and tyre life, and it really will play into its own later on in the race. This Race Fan seems to have just let Stickers go a little bit. 6/10 the good either way.
Just comparing lap times as well from lap 4, Stickers was half a second quicker than what Race Fan was. That is insane. Stickers is not holding back here.
And they are, and Ricky was right. Cruisin hasn't really left the back of these guys at the moment, so he's still well and truly in this podium battle, as is Bumcrack well behind his free licks, unfortunately, because of the pit issue. But this race is just really starting to go up a notch. Young Wakey 5.5 to the good. He's got Stickers starting to find his rhythm. Race Fan another half a second slower that lap. 1:33.6 against 1 minute 33.1. Evil Evo P4 matching in lap time. Old Wakey also doing a 33.6. Those guys absolutely nothing between them. Lenosia's P6. So he's lost out a little bit in the time. Cruising as well. 34.2 his last lap. And then Bumcrack is actually just nipped back a little 10th. So 8 cars within 12 seconds of each other. This is great racing.
100%. This is phenomenal to see, and really nothing is settled yet.
Oh, there's contact! There's contact. Evil Evo and Old Wakey and Lenosius is going to go through. That was huge. We'll see if we can get that on a replay. That was massive contact going into the slingshot. Just sent him wide, and Lenosius just made the absolute most of that. And that's just...
Yep.
You go.
Karen. Oh no, just looking at Lenosius now, after gaining that little free position there thanks to the contact between Evil Evo and Old Wakey, he's now run the back of Evil Evo, and I reckon going down into the quadruple left-hander, he could be on to dive up the inside here.
That move from Old Wakey definitely didn't go to plan. He definitely was keen, but Evil Evo's defense, he was just straight onto it. He did not want to F about. And that's probably the best way of saying it, because these guys will be very, very hot and heated in those helmets.
And thankfully, with it being 8:54 right now, in 6 minutes' time, we can replace the letter F with the full word.
I'd say probably in the next 2 minutes, the way this battle's looking with Evil Evo and Lenosius. Lenosius all over the back of the Aston from Doghouse.
Yeah, that is close, and really, if these guys make a bit of contact...
Oh, there's contact, alright! That was a big hit! Evil Evo's just starting to get boxed up a little bit as Old Wakey decides to have a look. That was a huge hit.
These guys are going to be going hell for leather into the corker. I can see them going 3 wide if Old Wakey can catch up with this.
If I'm Lenosius, I'm just going to sit here and just pressure and pressure and pressure until there's a mistake. It's all you can do. Evil Evo's defense has been so on point. Going through the corker, just Lenosius' line is brilliant through there, but Evil Evo's drive just out of the exits, very, very strong. But these guys are letting Race Fan and Stickers get away.
Yeah, on those, between Race Fan and Stickers, the gap between the two of them is slowly been increasing now up to 1.5 seconds. I think Stickers here might be on a different strategy, going for a more offensive strategy, you could call it, where he's just trying to build a gap as quick as possible and cop the penalty in the pits, and hopefully his sake the track position will be enough to keep him in a good spot.
This battle is actually still keeping Cruisin in this. He's 2.5 behind, but the way these guys are battling at the moment, don't be surprised if he actually crawls right up to this. This is just really starting to eke into his favour. He's got very consistent lap times of 34.2, 34.3 and 34.3. He's very much at home at the moment, is Cruisin.
Definitely. Mr. Bumcrack as well, still only 2.5 seconds behind that. So if he gets in the back, if Cruisin gets to the back and they all start fighting as a 4-way now, Bumcrack will also find his way there, make it a 5-way. It would be great to watch. Lenosius
goes up the inside, but he's gone wide. He's going to suffer here at the exit, and Old Wakey's definitely going to be involved in this. That's going to pique his interest. Jump on board now.
Sorry, mate. I was just going to say, I haven't looked between these 3 cars at the moment, or even including Cruisin. looks like Lenosa's got by far the better car under him, even fuel and tyre wise. Old Wakey seems to be struggling on fuel and tyres, but yeah, it looks like a really aggressive tune that Evil has on that Aston, which is helping, but it's also a little bit aggressive on those tyres.
I think you might have just put the boss on him a little bit there, Lenosius, because he just understeered quite heavily, and old Wakey's going to have a look at him. He's going to go around the outside on tabletop. Surely not. No.
No, but the switchback's on here, though.
It is. He's got to get in that run. The Corvette's got bucket loads of power.
But LSV8 does not hold back.
Lenosius goes defensive, but no, holds on. They enter the Quattro, and the 4 stages of the Quattro are quite difficult to nail. It's one of those tyre-torturing corners that just gains a reputation for eating cars and spitting them out for fun.
I think with that little segue that Ricky just said, Ricky just had before, I reckon now's a good time for a tyre and fuel update. Ricky, why don't you do the honours?
All right.
Worries, mate. Well, up the front, Wakey's looking pretty good on tyres, and you'd expect him to be doing reasonably well on fuel as well, just being able to conserve at the front there. He's just driving quite well up the front. He's just over half a tank and say about 20% on the tyres, just under on the fronts. Just behind him there you got stickers, similar tyre wear and a little bit less fuel. He's pretty much bang on half a fuel tank. Race fan behind that, mate, the top 3 are very similar. Out of the top 3 stickers is just on half a tank and the others just over. Evil, a little bit worse for tyre wear, but sitting on about half a tank. Lenosa's tyres are quite good really, still just over half a tank, so he's quite good at the moment.
Oh, he's just had a look, and he's actually, oh no, there was definitely contact there between Evil Evo and Lenosius.
Yep, he's redressed, he's redressed.
Yep, that's sportsmanship.
Yeah, that's definitely brought old Wakey back up onto the back of him. Old Wakey's tyres are looking a little worse for wear on the front, and he is just under half a tank, so he's probably one of the worst off so far. Cruisin's front tyre's not looking great. He is just over half a tank of fuel, so he's done pretty well on fuel back there. I've got Bumcrack behind him with, I'd say around the same tyres as Cruisin and just under half a tank, so he's burned through a bit of fuel, but being a Corvette, that's expected. And poor Felix at the back, his front tyres are looking quite ordinary. He's nearly down to 50% on the fronts and sitting on pretty much bang on half a tank, so...
Yeah, and I feel a bit bad for Felix. The Ascension boys have definitely had a lot of press the last few rounds with their success, but he's just been boxed around a little bit this season, and make no mistake about it, off the track though, absolute gentleman. He is absolute laugh and a half he is.
Just going back up to that battle again, and old Wakey seemed to have got around Lenosis and Evil there, down the back straight, so...
This is an angry little hot pocket, this is. This is just, yeah, this is as tight as it gets. It's aggressive racing, for sure.
I've noticed with the last lap, a lap before, the gap to Cruisin behind them was about 3.5 seconds, now down to 1.8, so they, those 3 must have come together somewhere before that turn 1 incident between Evil Evo and Lenosis, so I reckon in Cruisin here, if he just bides his time, he'll be on here for a top 5, top 4 possibly.
And not only Cruisin actually, Bumcrack's not that far behind him at all. So they go through the Quattro now. But these guys are hemorrhaging time as Old Wakey goes very wide. Lenosius thought about it. Oh, Lenosius is off! Oh, can he hold it? He does hold on.
Held it. Just let Cruisin by though.
He barely held on to it. He's just gone onto the grass as well. Just going to replay.
I'm never going to say it, car control.
I'll tell you what, that kicked out. He did so well to try and hold on to that, to be honest. That was crazy stuff.
Wowee.
And that's like what we were just saying about Cruisin. He's there. Make no mistake about it.
If he's playing something to the race, Cruisin, he's not fighting, he's just keeping a little bit of a gap. So monitoring what they're doing, seeing where they're strong, where they're weak, and he's just capitalising. Clear as that.
I tell you right now, he is a very big fan of the Ferrari and has made no bones about the Viper. He loves it, but it's not been suited to his driving style, and I think he's looking very forward to Season 7. And in that regard, guys, stay tuned. We have news. We will drop that news, though, at the end of the race.
Just teasing the fans, Karen. Love your work.
That is correct. The Bunnings Karen is back. Anyway, Cruisen's just run a little bit wide. That's let Lenosius through. Just on the exit of Tabletop, just looked like Cruisen just hit a little bit of oversteer. That's allowed Lenosius to go through. What that has done is put bum crack right into it as well.
Took the words right out of my mouth, mate.
As the chopper flies up over the top of the Dragon Trail Garden circuit here in Croatia. Sunshine and rainbows everywhere at the moment. The weather is beautiful.
You thought how would the Div 4 race then that would continue the weather here, but I guess in the intermission the clouds just dissipated and the sun has come out here. I guess what would be the winter sun in Croatia this time of year.
Yeah, but it's still in the Mediterranean, so it's still beautiful. Plus, I can drink Baroni all day. Anyway, Evil Evo is going to have a look at this contact between Wakey and Evil Evo. Big contact. But they got away with it unscathed. We'll see if we can get a replay of that. That was huge. That could have been even worse. Evil Evo just licked the stamp and sent it. A little bit of contact, but all's fair in love and war. These guys just keep tripping up each other though. It's just the gap between themselves and Racefair now has gone out to 7.8 seconds. And then they're letting the likes of Lenosius and Cruiser just still be there or thereabouts in this battle.
Without doubt. Like we said at the start of the race, these guys will fight for any position. No holds barred, doesn't matter what position it is, they'll fight for it.
Yeah, and I feel like this podium's still on for young and old because old Wakey, 7.8 seconds to the good at the moment, but he's looking like he's getting a bit more comfortable in that Corvette. The lap times are starting to just drop back down a little bit, so it looks like he's got through that graining phase. He's got to find 7.8 though.
Yeah, I think at this point here, most of the cars starting to ease off a bit. Their front tyres and sometimes even rears might just be feeling the pain at this point. We're currently about 20 minutes into the race. Pit windows will be opening up pretty soon. These guys here are going to be a bit fatigued without a doubt.
Yeah, looking at the Wakey Stickers gap at the moment, it's dropping 4.8 seconds now. Stickers has got the eyes switched on, he's in cheap suit mode.
Looking at lap times though from recent laps just gone, it appears to be pretty even. If anything, probably in Stickers' favour. He is doing pretty well to him in race fan. But yeah, between young Wakey and Stickers, Stickers is definitely going faster. There's not much in it, but he's finding time.
Race fan's still got the pace as well, but he's definitely falling back now.
I think at this point, race fan here, he's not chasing the he's not chasing P2. He's just settling in. There's no point going in position if you're going to make a mistake trying to get it. Just wait till after the pit, see where you're at and on the track, and then go from there. There's no point going chasing for position for nothing.
Lenosius has just had the big moment there. He's actually had that lag skip. So he did mention in Bathurst, if we go over the replay now, and we watch Lenosius in the background there, he's in front of Cruisin', and there it is. He's actually been put back behind, so he's got some serious technical dramas here. And he's going to have to make that move on Cruisin' Stick, so unfortunately it's just one of those things that's really hampered his season. Since Bathurst, actually, it's been happening for him.
Yep. He's going for the move, though, not wasting any time on Cruisin', but they're going too wide. Unless he's got the exit, though, he's got the inside line, and he's ahead again.
Yeah, but the problem with this glitch is it's been a constant source of despair for not only the Obsession boys, but for Lenosius himself with this championship, because up till Bathurst, he was actually a proper championship contender, and then this has just hampered him every race. He's lost about 5 or 6 seconds every race to this, as the battle was up the front with Evil Evo and Old Wakey still continuing on. On board though with the Doghouse Aston Martin. Old Wakey
Well,
goes
both those cars are looking really ordinary. They're going to be wanting to pull into the pits as soon as possible.
Well, maybe if you're old Wakey, it might be worth the undercut. But in saying that, the Corvette is, well, it drinks fuel like a drunken Irishman. It really it's just phenomenal. How fast it empties its fuel tank. It's just crazy.
I think at this point, it's on Evilievo to make the call. Right now, he's got to make the choice. Is Old Wakey holding him up? Yes or no? If no, stick with it till the halfway mark. If yes, box now, undercut, and try and avoid being stuck behind Old Wakey, and try and put some good laps in by yourself.
Yeah, I think you might be right there, Muffin. It just looks like Evilievo just a little bit off the pace tonight. Breaks heavily into the slingshot.
Yeah. Tyres there definitely seen better days. I feel the undercut might be the best call for him right now.
It's his battle with Lenocious and Cruisen's still going on for 6th position. Cruisen's, he's like a dog with a bone, just doesn't want to let it go.
I reckon going to P1, because Cruisen can't go for a move here unfortunately, but going to T1, if Cruisen can just keep on his ass, he'll be there for a nice little send. But Sticker's the first to blink now.
There we go, so that's the first to pit. So Stickers is coming in for the undercut. Watch the Dadson Racing crew go to work. They have been probably arguably the best crew all season long, I'd say.
Yeah, I hope for Stickers that he does get his fuel numbers right. You don't want to run low here. It's a very unforgiving track if you run out of fuel.
So just see how much fuel he comes out with. So we admire that Dadson Racing beautiful Aston Martin is. Comes out with a full tank. Clean air,
Right.
full tank.
Qualifies. That's all he's doing now.
He's got Freelix directly behind him, but as we know, unfortunately, with what happened on that 2, poor Freelix is just having a bit of a rough one tonight.
It's very unfortunate without doubt for Freelix to lose control of the car, end up in the pits, and just lose out because of it. It's a shame, honestly.
So the gap at the moment between Wakey and Racefan, 9.9 seconds. Oh, young Wakey's car just looks very composed, can take the sausage curbs comfortably. He's been the surprise packet of the season so far with Locked Up Motorsport. He already did a fantastic job last season. He was a runner-up to the Rising Star Award. He's definitely coming into the pits.
Yeah.
And he's done a very good job on the fuel save too. Look at that. How's he been able to set laps like that with a fuel save like that? That's just phenomenal. He's going to actually come out ahead of Stickers even further here.
He certainly will. He's managed to come into the pits with more people than Stickers after doing an extra lap. That is not something you see very often.
And Old Wakey's actually going to lose out here to Evilievo. Lenocious is in, Cruisen's coming in. Cruisen is on a fuel save. Cruisen is on the fuel save.
The grid here, honestly, for the most part, is pretty even fuel-wise, with the biggest outlier being Old Wakey. But being in the Corvette, you expect nothing less, unfortunately. The car is just very thirsty. You can almost swear it's leaking fuel as much as it's using it.
So that gap now between Wakey and Stickers has now crept out to 6.7 seconds. You've seen the Stickers went out with a fuel tank, and young Wakey is definitely underfilled there. He saw 85% of the tank filled. And he had the fuel save advantage, so he's definitely been able to eat more of a gap out. So the job for Stickers is much harder for him now.
Stickers at this point, really, he's going to have a hard task on his hands. He has to go fast and literally attack the car to make up the gap on young Wakey. But by doing so, he's going to use the car, and if he does manage to get to him, he's going to have no car to fight with, and he's just going to do all that hard work for nothing and possibly get a puncture in one of his front tyres that could lose him P2 and possibly in P3 or below that.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Ricky, surprised by anything so far at this point with the top 3 or even the top 5?
No, mate, I think it was pretty expected. So I was just going back through the field after the pit stops there, and looks like Lenocious might have picked him up a pit lane entry penalty, so that's going to hurt him considering he's right on the back of that pack that he went in with.
Yeah, but
what's definitely going to give Cruisen an easy run by, that's for sure.
We know we're going to see another fantastic battle between Cruisen and Bumcrack and Lenocious again.
Yeah, they're definitely going to stay around each other for the rest of the race. Yeah, no, I think it's been playing out somewhat expected. Yeah, see how much this hurts him coming onto the straight now, but I don't think it's 3-second penalty on the main straight's never a good thing.
No, and it's more like a double whammy because then you lose all the speed and then you've got to build it up again, which in turn, it just hurts you even more. So cruising goes by. See how much bum crack gets back out of that gap.
Something I just want to point out here really quickly. We all talked about right in the pits, but Old Wakey's come out in front of Evil Evo, and just looking at the two cars, Old Wakey has certainly underfueled, or Evil Evo has given it way too much. Like,
Well, they came in even, and Old Wakey was only barely behind him. That's...
I think when they come in, well, Old Wakey only had 7 or 8 in the tank compared to Evil Evo, what, 15, 16, somewhere in the high teens. So right now, Evil Evo is planning to drop qualifiers like stickers, or Old Wakey could be in a bit of trouble coming into the race.
Well, Old Wakey at the moment is setting purple sectors. That tells you all you need to know.
He's definitely not holding back, but I'm just looking at Cruising as well. He's actually short-fueled as well. He's actually under 3/4 of a tank at the moment.
I wonder if, because the clouds are starting to form in just again a little bit, I wonder if they're starting to think that maybe... Oh, surely not. It has to be a long way off the rain.
Yeah, I think at this point here, it have to be a sun shower for there to be any rain. It still looks pretty bright out there. Maybe a light mist, if anything.
Well, this section of the track here is definitely a lot lighter. But what this means is we get Evil Evo versus Old Wakey, round 6. And I won't say no to that. This is a fantastic battle. And then you got the battle with Lenocious and Cruising straight behind them.
Just watching that battle. Sorry, mate. I was just watching that battle, and Cruising seems to have just pulled to the inside and let Lenocious pass there. So, I'm not sure if he is possibly just running the fuel numbers and just trying to stick to a certain point. Doesn't want to hold anybody up, but basically just pulled to the inside and let it go flying past them. So.
But sometimes, in that regard, it might be the smartest thing to do, especially if you know the guy in front is a little bit faster and you know you can hang on with him. Then you just sit with him, close that gap up.
Keep that slipstream and save yourself some more fuel.
Yeah, so Cruising definitely not out of this by any stretch of the imagination, as just keeping our eyes on Race Fan at the moment. 10.7 behind is Old Wakey, and in front of him Stickers 7.5 to the good.
Something I was going to point out as well, having a look at Stickers and Young Wakey in front. The best time of the race set by Young Wakey at 1:32.7. Young Wakey currently about half a tenth up on that going through the second sector, so he's doing pretty consistent times, but Stickers 2.5 tenths up. He is not slowing down, this fella, this West Aussie. He's not going to leave anyone on the table. He's going to make sure he's going to catch Wakey or Young Wakey or die trying.
He's 5.8 seconds behind now, so that gap has dropped about a second since the pits. This, I tell you what, this could be a spicy little meatball if this keeps up.
It's the question now, start placing the best people, what's going to happen first? Will Stickers catch Young Wakey, or will Stickers tire, will the tyres and Stickers will just meet their ends? What's going to happen first?
Just looking now at Old Wakey, the Evil Old Wakey battle still going on at the moment. These guys, they've cleared Lenocious quite a bit now because of Lenocious' penalty, but it's a lot of time to find for Lenocious. That penalty came at the absolute worst time. He's got the hazard lights on, mind you.
Just riding on board with Stickers, he's definitely got a bit more fuel, so he's been able to push a bit harder. And just coming through the first sector there, he's over 2 tenths up on the lap record, so fastest lap, sorry. So
he's going to be able to push harder for longer too, because he definitely full fuel, and he's purple. This is what they're doing right now, is setting qualifiers to try and see if they can win a race. This is just phenomenal stuff.
Something else to talk about though, we haven't talked about it a little bit here. Currently P3 running his own race fan, 9 seconds to people either side of him. Just quietly achieving well here for a nice easy podium if he can keep it up. Well done, race fan.
Yeah, and then behind it's getting a little bit hot and bothering under the collar again. The gap has well and truly shrunk between Old Wakey and Evil Evo, so we are going to see round 6, it's more like round 6,000 between these two.
No point looking at the time differential, we can see the gap with our own 2 eyes here.
There is a lot of dark grey clouds hanging around too, starting to pretty much cover the whole track, so might be on for a bit of rain here.
Oh, there was a little bit of contact between Wakey and Evo there. Wasn't much, but it was enough to unsettle old Wakey. Evil Evo addresses it, but you are right, the clouds are definitely coming in, and not only that, the wind has definitely dropped off a bit too.
Oh, I wonder if that's possibly a sign of some rain inbound. It's a low possibility, but at a place like this, rain is certainly a possibility.
And this is one of the tracks in Gran Turismo 7 which does have rain. We haven't seen it this round. In fact, we've only seen it once this season, the rain. And that made for an absolutely chaotic race, to say the least. That was Autopolis, Division 3, if I remember correctly. We did get a lot of people saying after the race, let's not do the rain again. Anyway.
100%. No one likes the wet weather, unfortunately, but, you know, that's just part of racing. You can't really help what the gods present you with, and you've got to adapt to your scenario as best you can.
So the gap between Evo and Lenocious, which I thought was closing 2 laps ago, is actually increasing. It's now just hit 7 seconds, and Cruisin doing a great job here to keep with him. Massive props to Bumcrack as well. He just has not let go of this pack tonight. And just over the season, he's just got quicker and quicker, and now he's just starting to feel out the mid-pack.
Evil Evo unfortunately serving the penalty there. That's going to put him off the back of old Wakey out of slipstream range. Now he's got to do all that hard work again to get to the back of old Wakey.
So what's old Wakey's fuel like at this point? Because we know he slightly underfilled. We know the Corvette is a heavy beast.
Looking at it now, old Wakey currently about what, two-thirds of the tank, I'd argue. Currently not in too bad a spot, but it's hard to tell this far off into the race how much fuel he's got to last him to the end, and whether or not he can go full pellet when he's got a fuel save. But look, if you compare in fuel numbers, without a doubt, the difference between Evil Evo and old Wakey has shrunk, which makes you think that maybe Evil Evo put in more than he needed, and he's given it the absolute beans, and old Wakey has just put in the amount required to short shift to the end.
So the gap between young Wakey and Stickers now, 6.1. So it's just started to eke out that little bit.
Yeah. I think at this point here, either Stickers has hit his limit and can't find any more speed, or young Wakey has just clicked on that. Stickers is going to try and track him down, so he's just trying to monitor that gap, keep it around the 6-second mark. That leaves him some leeway in case of an error. It's a good call there from Wakey if it is.
Still a lot of time left in this race though. 15 minutes we've just ticked over. So we go back up to the old Wakey Evil Evo battle once again. It's main battle on the track at the moment. Locious has just started to skip away from Cruisin, who's just run very wide at the keyhole.
Yes, he has just one very wide, yep.
But yeah, no, the keyhole's a corner you definitely don't want to get wrong, because you can make or break your entire race, as Felix found out firsthand tonight. It's a corner that bites, but out of these two here, I feel like this is where the battle's at. Old Wakey's still there or thereabouts.
At this point, I'm prepared to call it. I feel that positions 1, 2, and 3 are locked in. I'm prepared to call it right now. These guys seem to be pretty well in a good rhythm with plenty of space around them. Like, unless they have some major unbelievable fault, or if the rain comes in, they should be fine the way they are.
Yeah, and the gap between Wakey and Stickers now is starting to get a bit more nerve-wracking for Stickers. 6.4, and that Aston Martin of Wakey's, just looking at it over the sausage curbs at the corker, it just really bounced up, and it looked like it could just tolerate it.
You must have tuned that car to have a pretty, I'd argue, soft suspension setup, so you can really attack those curves and not feel it too much, and just keep the car nice and stable.
He's done a great job. Stickers in P2 at the moment. Race fans, just 10.8 to the good, but he's just going to cruise home with this podium, I reckon. I reckon you might be right, Muffin. These top 3 are definitely locked in, but the battle's behind, however, that's a different story.
The battle for best of the rest is still on, and it's really hot right now. Old Wakey and Evil Evo 4 tenths of a second separating them. It's going to be whoever blinks first now is going to lose out.
Yeah, and it looks like from this particular angle, it looks like Evil Evo is just maybe conserving the car a little bit for a late run.
I'd have to argue that. I do feel if Evil Evo didn't get that penalty, I reckon they'll still be in the same spots they are now. There's no point attacking Old Wakey this early on in the stint because he's going to get you right back in the next main straight. You're better off waiting, sort of building your own sort of supply, wearing down their nerve, and then just going for it in the last couple of laps of the race.
That's correct, and I think at this point, if you're just going to try and make something happen, you need to make it happen towards the end. You need to make sure that you can have the car to make it home. But not only that, you want to have the car that makes it home and has the pace to just walk on by and increase the gap. So as Evil Evo's just all over Old Wakey here. Jump on board now. And Old Wakey, just look how wide he takes that entry into the keyhole.
Oh, he's gone very wide here. Evil Evo, they're side by side.
Side by side in the front straight, all right. Lot of racing room between these two.
Yeah, they're still side by side. Have to leave a space. Old Wakey looking to do the switchback.
Evo, very tight.
Position sorted.
What that might do is that might actually help Old Wakey's fuel situation. It's either that.
You take the opportunity if you have to sit behind, short shift a bit more.
Looks like the gap between Old Wakey and Lenocious, though, despite all that, the gap is increasing to Cruisin', but it's not decreasing to Old Wakey and Evil Evo. As I say that, Lenocious makes up 3 tenths.
I'd argue at this point, Evil Evo and Old Wakey, they're the only two that are going to prevent themselves from getting P4 and 5. If they fight really hard and just, go for dive one after dive one each lap after lap, Lenocious will catch them no problem at all. They are literally deciding their own fate. Do they want to take it easy and just secure P4 and 5, or do they want to fight now for the position and let Lenocious catch back up?
I think if you're Old Wakey in the Corvette, you're going to have to just sit back a little bit, try and take your time. There's nothing else he can do.
On that though, for Old Wakey, as we all know, his tyres are definitely wearing that much faster than Evil Evo's, even with Evil Evo's more aggressive setup. Right now, so Old Wakey, although he probably shouldn't really be attacking too hard, his best call in all honesty would be to try and get in front, hold Evil Evo up until both their tyres are just shot to pieces and he can defend with ease come the last few laps of the race.
So, just running through the field there, and it looks like Bumcrack's still doing a good job. He's 3.7 behind Cruisin' at the moment. That gap is well and truly extending between Lenocious and Wakey, but now because of the fight between Wakey and Evil Evo, it looks like Lenocious is starting to really claw back some time. Be interesting to see what happens in this next 10 minutes in terms of tyre life for these guys. Old Wakey's still setting purple sectors at the moment, though. That's how hot this pace is right now in this race.
I think Old Wakey's been on the purple sector and sector 1 for most of this race gone by now. His car must be just that very well equipped for the hard braking zones of T1, 2 and for the quadruple left-hander just to get through there alright, but just through the midfield section where it's all sort of flowing left-right, the big Chungus Corvette just can't deal with the flow of it too well.
Lenocious is definitely catching right now. He is definitely catching. He's 5.1 now, the gap.
Without doubt. Right now, Lenocious, comparing lap times as Old Wakey goes a bit wide coming out of the corker, Lenocious is definitely going quicker. Easily in some scenarios, a second a lap compared to Old Wakey.
And you know what's the other thing as well? These guys, albeit slowly, are catching race fan at the moment.
Without doubt. The gap was around the 9.5 second mark, now down to less than 9. Evil Evo, if you can just sort of settle in here, not worry about Old Wakey behind him and just look straight ahead and set some good laps in, he's definitely a chance to catch him race fan.
Speaking of catching people, young Wakey, nobody is catching him tonight. 5.7 seconds to the good and just looks absolutely at home in that Aston.
And just comparing the two cars between Young Wakey and Stickers, I think that Stickers at this point, he's used the best of his car up, and right now he's have to hope and pray that Young Wakey can just go wide out of corner or make a little mistake, because I don't feel there's enough car beneath him to catch up anymore, unfortunately.
And that's where fatigue sets in as well. Like with these sort of races, you want to still make sure that you've got like these guys practice relentlessly before a race. They'll practice for 2, 3, maybe even 4 hours, and by the end of towards the last half an hour, it really starts to take its toll on you. And these guys, Group B, make no mistake about it, these boys are very, very passionate about what they do. They put a lot of time, a lot of effort into the things they do off and on the track, and they do an absolutely wonderful job, as does everyone actually in Sector 1 here, especially the Livery Lords. As we look at Race Fan in the CP Motorsports EBM, Elite Brake Mechanical Aston Martin doing a great job, but the gap is just starting to increase again, as is the gap with Evil Evo and Old Wakey. So that gap now, 1.8 seconds, and Lenocious is coming.
I do want to point out though, coming out of the corker again on this lap, now 2 laps in a row, Old Wakey has gone wide at the exit of the corker.
Yeah, and he's gone very wide there at tabletop, so it looks like the front end of the Corvette just not agreeing with what Old Wakey's wanting to do.
And just comparing the 3 cars right now, Evil Evo, Old Wakey and Lenosis. Lenosis comfortably has the better cars a lot. Ricky Bobby, try and inform us, mate. Like, what have you done at a session?
Oh no, Old Wakey's gone! Old Wakey's gone! We're just on board with that. I was just having a sip of the water, and then all of a sudden, bang! Yeah,
Sorry, just be... Sorry, just before I
understeer.
go into that, guys, Lenosis had another drag issues. He had it down to about 3.8, then it dropped back to over 5 seconds just before Old Wakey made that mistake, so... that's 2 of them, but, mate, look, we just try and, we do work together with our tunes, obviously a little bit, but just try and find something that's going to work as best as possible around the whole circuit. As you were pointing out before, the Corvette loves Sector 1, not so good through Sector 2, and this track's very, it's hard. You can be quick in certain sectors and slow in others, and you just try and find a balanced setup as best you can.
Yeah, and unless you're like Distinct Andrew, who's just an absolute freak of nature, it is a little bit of a struggle, as Lenocious is well and truly on the back of Old Wakey here.
Yeah, I think Lenocious isn't going to waste time here. He's going to go for a move as soon as it presents itself. There's no point in him waiting around. He's got the best car, like, in the field at this point, in my opinion.
This next sector will definitely determine. I think the Corvette's really starting to go to the front end now, so...
Yeah, and when the front end drags on the Corvette, it drags. As Lenocious has put the nose up. Definitely going to look up the inside. Little bit of a bump.
Old Wakey holds it though, my lord. Oh, no, it's over yet.
Oh, Lenocious just... Oh, how did they get away with that? That is as close as it gets between the two of them, going completely off.
Alright, now watch this hairpin. If Lenocious doesn't go for a dive, I'll be amazed.
Oh, he doesn't. He's thinking about the back straight. He's got the switch back on. Old Wakey just parks it up a little bit on the apex.
It's going to really be frustrating Lenocious right now. He's got a better car, he's got more pace, but just can't find a way past Old Wakey.
Tell you what though, their fuel seems to be getting right at the point where if they keep pushing too hard, battling each other, they're going to really struggle to get these last few laps out. I think they're not far off hitting the light.
Still got 3 minutes left. Just over, nearly between 3 and 4. As you can tell, the Deeds Fuelman's done the maths again.
Something I do want to point out though, Gap is starting to close up at the back here. Cruisin and Bumpcrack must actually got past Cruisin at some point. Cruisin's down to P8, but he's making time up on Bumpcrack. But look at that as well. Freelix, after doing an extra pit stop, now only 3 seconds behind Cruisin. Why drive?
And look at this, it's just absolutely mowing down time out of these two. This is interesting. I reckon Cruisin's in serious trouble here. Has to be.
Speaking of serious trouble, going back to Old Wakey and Lenocious, got side by side.
Oh, what a hold!
That's a tribute to Cam Block right there if I've ever seen one.
Oh, jeez. Old Wakey's putting on a stellar defense. And this is for P5 in the race. From the foothills of the Croatian mountains here in Dragon Trail Gardens 2. It just seems like every... Oh, old Wakey just parks it up and then just opens the wheel up a little bit. Means Lenosius just has to go the hard way about things. As Felix has now gotten past Cruisin'. So Cruisin' definitely must be struggling on fuel, but we'll go back up to this battle now because this is where it's at. 2.5 minutes to go. Old Wakey v Lenosius, and Lenosius has just got so much more car under him.
The other's name before that, Lenosius and the old Wakey are not too good on fuel. Cruisin's just showing how it's done. They are, Cruisin's a bit of a close on fuel-wise. He's not got too much left in that tank.
Side by side they are down the front straight. Looks like Lenosius is going to get it done. The Corvette's just struggling.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's over yet because now I can confirm yet Lenosius is on the fuel line. Old Wakey is not.
Oh, that is tricky.
Old Wakey's just gone to it though now, so these guys are even fuel-wise.
That's how close it is, ladies and gentlemen, between these two. And this is for the battle for the top 5. Lenosius just looks like he's just starting to stretch away a tiny bit, though.
Just about the back here, though, it appears that actually Cruisin', after having that fuel issue possibly at the start of the stint, has now brought it back. He's got more fuel than Felix.
What's going on there? So Cruisin's obviously had a big moment of some sort because he was losing hundredths of a second a time down the front straight only a couple of laps ago.
Right now, he's just giving Felix's bumper a few love taps here and there. He's just letting me know, I'm here. If you make a mistake, I'm going past you.
And this is how good Sector 1 is. Battles all up and down the field, no matter what you watch. So Cruisin goes for the setup now.
And old Wakey's got a half-second penalty. That's him done. He is definitely finishing P6 now.
That is, if that pass didn't confirm it, that penalty does now. We'll go up the front though now because young Wakey, 6 seconds to the good stickers, has pushed as hard as he can tonight. Just not going to be enough, unfortunately. This guy is in a class of 1, and if I'm Division 1 right now, I'd start getting seriously nervous about this kid because he's only going to get better, especially with the top tier guys.
Good news for us around the combox here. We're all Division 1, so we're all got that to look forward to.
Yep. Ricky, I don't think either of us are going to look forward to having to compete with young Wakey next season, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely not, mate. I was just watching that battle at the back between Felix and Cruisin', and they were going to really struggle to get another lap, and they've both actually just backed off the line to call it the end of the night. So.
Speaking of crossing the line, as he goes around the keyhole, he's done an absolutely incredible job from start to finish as young Wakey. He'll take the win here at Dragon Trail Gardens 2 and cement himself as a true championship contender. Stickers through the kitchen sink at him. We'll get P2. And a fantastic drive-by race fan who's been in a world of his own. He's had the gaps up the front and behind, but he's kept his cool and he's got 3rd place. A podium for CP Motorsports is great to see. And Evil Evo, 9 seconds clear of Lenosius in that old Wakey battle, so he made a lot of time there. And P5 comes across the line now, does Lenosius. Those skips really haven't helped him at all, but P5 will be happy with that.
Old Wakey come across the line, literally on a spin of an oily rag. His fuel tank was dead empty. He would have to be swerving left to right, trying to get something just to go into the bloody engine there. That tank would have been dry as.
And coming across the line now is Mr. Bumcrack. He'll finish P7, but a massive congratulations goes to young Wakey, who is starting to firm as the championship favourite of Division 2. And, well, look out, because this boy is proving he's just getting started.
Yep, and just like the sponsor on young Wakey's car here, yep, don't adjust your glasses, don't go to spectators, you just saw young Wakey just absolutely dominated the field, start to finish.
What a race. That is just phenomenal stuff, that really is.
Yeah, that's my point out as well. If I'm looking at it correctly, young Wakey has done one of the best Grand Slams I've seen. Pole, led every lap, finished first, fastest lap. Well done, young fella.
Stickers in P2, he won't be disappointed with that, that's for sure. He had great pace, but that early battling, those first 2 or 3 laps allowed young Wakey to skip away, and I think if that didn't happen and Stickers had got P2, that was well and truly different. So guys in chat, fire your driver of the days in, because this is an absolute doozy. There's a lot of good picks in this one. And I tell you what, my pick's going to be Race Fan. I think he drove an absolutely impeccable race. It was clear, clean, precise, well cut. He did an absolutely great job.
All the boys here tonight, every single person on my career did a fantastic job all race. Well done to them.
Yep, agreed. So I reckon we might fire into the driver of the days. Ricky, who are you thinking for your pick?
Mate, like you said, it's a really hard pick. I think young Wakey just drove. You can't fault any part of it. To be honest, I think I'm going to go a little bit left. Considering how tight that battle in the middle was between Evil, Old Wakey and Lenosis, I think it was quite a good drive in the end there from Evil to come out on top of that and actually have a bit of a gap at the end there. So I think it might give mine to Evil, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think Evil got a bit boxed on, and I think he's starting to feel the heat of the championship. There was a lot of times, especially early on, where he just felt like he was just getting punched around quite a bit as the driver of the days have come in. Carbonboy's already voted, so he started at the start of the race, let's be honest here. Driver of the day, Lenocious, no bias. Womble said driver of the day, Womble, typical. Dadson's fired in and said, well done, Stickers. All 4 Dadson racing cars on the podium for a second time this season, and look, that's probably going to back up the claims of Dadson Racing probably being the team of the season at the moment. So, driver of the day, Stickers from Dadson. Driver of the day, Womble from Pruy, and who's still holding a sign with love hearts all, and your photo, Ricky, just down in the pit lane there. Nice. Driver of the day, Evil Evo. Grewers voted in Evil Driver of the Day. Stranger Driver of the Day, Evil. Looks like Evil Evo, yeah. Out of nowhere, he's got 4 votes and Ricky's vote. So, yeah, that's looking like a driver of the day with Evil Evo. So, yeah, no, that's... I actually agree with that. That is a good one. That is a really strong choice.
When you're in a battle pack like which was my race last week, for such a long period of the race, it is very taxing as a driver to try and keep you cool and just find those lines and keep pushing on. So, yeah, I think when you're sort of out by yourself, it can just sort of be a little bit easier. I think when you're in those heavy battle packs, it's just very stressful for a long period of time. So I think you did really well.
Yep, agreed. And now I do have, like I said earlier in the race, I do have a little bit of news, and we are about to drop on the Discord very, very shortly within the next, I'd say, probably 15 minutes. The details and the regulations and stuff for Season 7. We finally announced it earlier in the start of the week that we will be doing a GT3/GT4 World Tour. The manufacturer series style, of course. So all teams will be picking a particular manufacturer to represent for the season. And the details, there's going to be some big shake-ups, I tell you what, because endurance races are back, sprint races are back. It is a bumper calendar, it really is. And the tracks, for the first time in Sector 1 history, are all real-world circuits. So we haven't got Maggiore, we haven't got St. Croix. As much as I tried to bribe Knuckles and Chase, they wouldn't have St. Croix back, which is unfortunate. And Lenocious didn't want to barge on the rest of the calendar being for Maggiore, and we really, really wanted Maggiore, to be honest. But anyway... I'm just seeing, I might have, actually, I do have word, I might be tuned into the radio to Lenocious speaking of the devil. Are you there, Lockie?
Yes, I'm here.
How'd you go that race, mate?
Just looking around underneath me at my chair, and you would think I went swimming.
Oh.
That was one hell of a race, I'll tell you. I think I overtook Cruisin' 6 times that race. Because every single time I had that sort of jolt thing would drop me behind him and I'd just overtake him again. And I think I heard it when you guys said that he sort of let me past coming into the at the exit of the second to last corner. Yeah, I think that was just because he was sick of me overtaking him. In all honesty, it was losing us too much time, me trying to overtake him and stuff. But honestly, brilliant race from start to finish. I enjoyed the battles with firstly Evil Evo and Old Wakey at the start there. We had that 5-car battle pack that was so tight. And then towards the end, battling Cruisin and Old Wakey. But yeah, aside from the technical issues, it was a great race from my point of view. Loved it, every moment of it.
Yeah, we did see at one stage of the track that, or one stage of the race on the replay actually of the glitch itself for you. So, we'll gloss over that at another time because, the Season 7 details, they're hot and spicy. So we're going to reveal... we've got a bumper calendar this year, and it is going to be, and I want to get your reactions to this, Ricky and Muffin, and everybody in chat, because it is quite a significant season that we're going to be doing. So, 12 rounds, which is unheard of for this league. Usually we do 6 or 7. We're going to be doing an alternating roster, so 1 week it's GT3s, 1 round it's GT4s. Every single track is a real-world track. Not one track is from original Gran Turismo. We are hoping that Grand Valley joins to sort of break the mold of that, but who knows? We have brought back the sprints and endurance rounds as well, which is going to be fantastic. So there will be a GT3 and a GT4 variant for both. We're looking very, very forward to that. The tyre wear and the fuel usage, so the tyre wear is ×3, the fuel usage is ×4. We do have a mandatory tyre that everyone must use, which is the medium tyre, but we're letting anybody choose whatever tyre they would like to start the race on. So if you want to start on a medium, you can start on a medium. If you want to start on a soft, the manufacturers themselves, so basically anything that has an all-wheel drive Group 4 is outlawed unless it's a direct relative or something like that. So for example, with Toyota and Subaru, the Group 4 Subaru has 4-wheel drive, which of course is not allowed. So we will allow the Toyota 86 because the Subaru BRZ and the 86 are very, very, very similar right down to the underpinnings of the cars. Also with Genesis, the Group 4 for that is a 4-wheel drive, but we will allow the Hyundai Genesis to be used in its place purely because Hyundai owns Genesis. So we're going to allow that one. And unfortunately for the likes of the show-off guys like Lenocious that love the bling-bling and all that jazz, Bugatti won't be in it. And Lamborghini and that sort of jazz. Any thoughts on so far on what that sounds like, guys?
Oh, personally, I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good fun. It harkens back to the days when I first joined the Sector 1 League, when it was BOP, no tuning, all the cars are the exact same, whether it was a multi-make or a one-make, it was just all similar machinery. It was just down to the driver. It was racing I thoroughly enjoyed, and I'm keen to get back into it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one of the big seasons we did actually was the previous GT3 Championship at the formation of Sector 1. It was BOP and like this, and it was actually quite even for quite a lot of the seasons as well. Ricky, what's your thoughts on the way we're going about it, in terms of especially that we're going to be doing GT3s one round and GT4s the next?
Yeah, that's definitely going to mix things up, mate. They're just totally different cars to drive, so it is going to require quite a bit of time in the seat, getting used to each car at each different track, obviously. It's a good little mix-up, though, I think. I think it'll make it very interesting, and hopefully it does provide some really close racing. Having multi-manufacturers has always been something I've always thought is a better option, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah, and one of the big things I think that a lot of people were debating about was the tuning. We have decided that we're going to do BOP, no tuning, just people getting in the cars, getting to practice, drive, have fun, bring back the fun, and still be competitive, because we are a competitive league, in which Sector 1 always has been. But in saying that, it'll mean that the guys in the lower divisions also can just get in, practice with those bigger names, and actually everyone sort of works together, which is fantastic news. But we will be dropping that on the Sector 1 Discord very, very shortly, along with the registration form. So that is all ready to go. That'll be up very, very shortly. So for anybody that does want to drive, that form will be going up very within the next 10 minutes, I'd say. So all the details beyond that. But for now, I might call it a night. Firstly, thank you so much to Muffin and Carbonboy for hosting the races tonight. And a big thank you as well to Greer and Ricky Bobby for stepping in and on their first night and getting used to things. And hopefully, guys, the comp box is quite comfortable, and we'll make sure the beers are a bit better tasting than the Bacchus ones I got at the moment here. Like, what's this one? I don't know. Muffin, any final words as well, guys?
Oh, mate, I'll let Ricky have the floor here. Ricky, mate, it's all yours.
Oh, thanks, mate. No, mate, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys. It's definitely is a different experience sitting on the other side of the fence, that's for sure. It's great, though, being able to watch the entertaining races that go on through and sort of have a look through the field, watch your own battles, and yeah, no, it's been a great experience. Thanks again.
I'll just check if is Guru still here? Graham, you still here, or is he? Oh no, he might not be here. Carbonboy is AFK, I believe.
Yep, he's definitely gone down to the grandstands. He's currently probably either at the food stalls grabbing something to eat after the action, or he is currently making his way back to the car park. Or he was
What are you talking about? I'm the one making sure Brent's getting all the dodgy beers. I'm taking the good ones.
Oh no.
I was hoping you were holding the other end of the Prua flag for me, mate, to be honest.
I do have one question, though. If I come up to the box from the Obsession Pit Garage, are the beers free? Are they complimentary?
They're on Brent's tab tonight.
Oh,
Alright, I'll be there in 5, guys.
Anyway, guys, we'll call it a night for tonight. Massive thank you to everybody that has tuned in. As always, the chat was bloody good tonight. I'm real it was just fantastic stuff, and the racing was also really, really good. A couple of questionable moves, of course, but it is racing. Massive thank you to everyone behind the scenes that's helped out, especially the guys that have stepped up, Ricky and Greer as well. Massive thank yous to everybody for stepping in tonight, and of course we look forward to next week, which is Road Atlanta, which is going to be an absolute hot pocket, and the juicy goss from that track right now, it's going to be brutal. It is going to be unadulterated chaos, and it's going to be hard as hell to drive. So we'll call it a night for tonight. I am Brent, a.k.a. Karen. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. This is Sector 1 signing off for now, and as always, I forgot what I was going to say. There we go.